Welcome, Level Uppers, to It Only Does PlayStation, the Level Up Network's exclusive, dedicated PlayStation podcast on once every month. I'm one of your co-hosts, Andrew. I make the show, Midori, and I'm joined tonight by the classy douchebag, Mike McLaughlin. We also have my brother, my teammate, Gregory Verga, a.k.a. GVZ.
It's your boy! Hello!
It's mirrors.
Drew,
It makes it really weird.
System that you have going on.
Yeah, it threw me off a little bit, I'm not gonna lie. I don't know what is
It's hard to do. It's mirrored, so it's very, very confusing.
Makes me think of Chuck E. Cheese.
Why Chuck E. Cheese?
Wait, do you guys have Chuck E. Cheese?
Yes, we do have Chuck E. Cheese, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why.
Dude, that's like I would just play
Correct,
games
the
with
robot
Brad, and every 5 minutes, do you guys have this in America? Do you have M&Ms in America? And I'm like, yes, Bradley, we
well,
have.
my
pens.
whole world was warped when I came to New Jersey for the first time, and I was like, guys, let's get Heroes. And they were like, and I'm like, let's get Heroes. And everyone was like, oh, you want to get hoagies? I'm like, oh, what? I would never eat a hoagie. I don't know what that is.
They're both weird words when you think about it.
Yeah, hoagie is made up. Hero just doesn't make sense.
Hero makes so much sense.
Nothing makes sense. Where do words come from?
What are we? Is that Dave? Noble Metal
Yes,
Gamer?
it is.
David.
Yes, we have. We got Brad in the room. We got Derek. We got GFN. We have Dave, Noble Metal Gamer. Thank you so much for joining us, guys. As I was saying, this is It Only Does PlayStation. It's on once every month. If you like what we're going to be doing tonight, at any point, make sure to follow the show. Hit that follow button at twitch.tv/The Level Up Show, and we will, of course, shout you out. You can also check us out on all the different channels that are rotating at the top of the screen there. Twitter, YouTube is a very important one. YouTube.com/The Level Up Show. Level spelled LVL. Subscribe while you're there because we archive everything we do, but we also have some exclusive YouTube content. Greg is a part of that. Dean can't be here tonight, but power up. There, thank you, Greg.
Da-da-da!
There you go.
One day I'm gonna fly across the screen and I'm gonna blow everybody's fucking mind.
Use that green screen to good use.
Oh my god, the day it happens, I will be so happy.
So that's on every week on our YouTube channel. It's all about comic book superhero nerdiness, so please check that out. And if you want to get that early, 5 days early, typically, you can even do better by supporting us on Patreon at patreon.com/The Level Up Network. Donate just $1 or more per month, and you'll get early access.
Just $1?
Just $1, Greg.
And get the show how many days earlier?
We should make it 99 cents. I feel like we would get like 1 million more people on our Patreon if it was just 99 cents.
You're like the store that moves in next to the dollar store and you call yourself the 89-cent store?
89 cents? I've never seen that.
You guys don't have 89 cents. See, this is why I asked the questions, because New Jersey doesn't have what Long Island does.
So here's the format, guys. It Only Does PlayStation is for PlayStation dedicated topics that one of us is each brought to the show. But we also go through some fan submitted questions. We have 3 of those tonight. And then we also have Trailer of the Month, the PlayStation dedicated Trailer of the Month. So we'll be getting to all those big things. First off, how's everybody doing tonight? How are you, Mike?
I'm fine.
You're doing fine.
I'm doing fine.
Doing as good as anybody would expect. Yeah.
Yeah, it's been an interesting week. I've been playing a lot of The Division on PS4.
Ooh, nice.
Where
Loving
it's
it?
not. Yeah, dude. Oh my god.
If you were playing on Xbox, I would have been like, no, we can't talk about that.
Right. Exactly. But yeah, it's a problem. It's heroin.
It's good then.
Oh my god, dude. It's giving you everything that you want to as of right now.
Mm-hmm.
It's taken me a lot longer to level up. Unlike it did in Destiny.
Level up.
Pun intended.
The customization, the modding, the Dark Zone is extremely annoying, frustrating, and rewarding at the same time. It's a pretty good mix. There's some negatives, and I'm sure they'll patch it, but it's been good times.
I'm sure we all saw that Ubisoft said it's the best-selling first 24 hours of any of their other
Deservingly
games.
so.
Without releasing a number, which I thought was odd. But
Yeah.
I guess we looked up past numbers.
They don't usually release day numbers. They'll do like opening weekend or.
That's what I
or
figured,
week.
but I just thought that was weird that I guess they approximated it and got it to
Yeah.
figure
I mean, either way, I mean, going off of their other series like Watch Dogs and Assassin's Creed,
Yeah, that's great.
you have to imagine that it sold very, very well.
Yeah,
Has to be
extremely.
somewhere in the millions.
So now the question, and the one that I've brought up on multiple shows now, is does it have staying power?
Right. Next
Mike,
month,
what do you
they're
think?
Saying, we'll give you an update, and next month it only does PlayStation.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, I guess so.
Well,
but
they just outlined their whole DLC plan for the season pass, which I thought was actually pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Which was cool, actually. They have it lined up. I think they're kind of supporting it the same way Rocksteady did with Arkham Knight. They're releasing like steady content, and a lot of it's going to be free, which I think is very, very smart on their part.
Right.
But I'm still very curious to see. I don't know what the season pass exactly gets you. I know it was priced at I believe like $25 or $30.
No, I think it's more than that. I think it was.
It's like 25 or yeah, I think it's 30 because the gold edition of the game was $99.99. Which it comes with the season pass itself, so it's somewhere in the $30 price.
Sure, someone's gonna say no. It was this much, so.
Yeah,
right.
Someone correct me if I'm wrong.
But Mike, I mean, 3 days in, if you were to speculate on how you're going to feel a month from now, I know it's early, but still.
You're asking the guy who's continually played Diablo for a week straight. I feel like I'm the wrong.
That's a different game. That's what I'm talking about, though. Is this going to be like Diablo for you?
This is a perfect mix of Diablo, Destiny, and Borderlands.
Ooh, I like those words.
I like how his voice went into like robot modulation when he said that too.
This is my favorite game.
It's a good mixture, good gunplay, good upgrade system, a lot of good teamwork stuff. The go and drop. One of the cool things is like when you're next to somebody in the dark zone, you can hear what they're saying. So me and Brad were talking about. You missed up the chat. Me and Brad were talking about how we were gonna go and shoot some other guys, some of the other players in the area, and take their loot, and they overheard us, so it didn't go down as well as we were hoping.
I feel like the element of surprise is very key to killing.
Yeah, you're not going to be like, hey, I'm going to shoot you in the face, so just watch your back in about 5 minutes.
Hey, you see those guys over there? We should go take all the stuff.
Yeah, it's good, man. I feel like I'm going to be playing this for a while. I don't know if, like, it might be one of those things where I don't get the Destiny DLC in September because I'm still playing this.
Ubisoft has already said too the same thing. I don't think they're going to be releasing a Division 2 for a ways off and keep supporting.
I'm good with that.
DLC, which I think
as long as they update this.
Yeah.
So.
I got a surprise. My brother texted me and he goes, Greg, I don't know if you know this, but I had Rainbow Six. I forgot what game it was, but they gave you a promotion at GameStop if you traded in another Tom Clancy game.
Right.
I think it was Patriots then, right? Or Siege? Siege. That was the one.
I think it was Rainbow Six Siege.
So if you traded that in, then you got the Division for $25 or $30. So he got that, and he's like, if you want to play it, like, let me know. I have it now. So I'm like, nice, free copy of the Division after Trophy Wars is done.
I finished Far Cry Primal as much as I felt like doing. A lot of the last 2 trophies were a lot of grinding. You had to upgrade all your things with XP, and I finished the entire game. So
speaking of that, top-selling game of February was Far Cry Primal.
Was it?
Yes. Indeed.
The MPD results were released?
Yes, they came out on IGN like 3 hours ago or something.
Oh, okay, cool. I'll have to look at that. I didn't check that out yet. But Greg, how are you doing this week? What have you been playing, PlayStation-wise?
I'm doing fantastic. I replayed Game of Thrones.
I'm in that too.
And I originally came down on it. I don't know if I ever said it on any of the shows we did, but I came down on it very, very harshly. I just hated it. Like, coming off of, I played Tales from the Borderlands right before that, and that had me on such a fucking high. That's my favorite of all the Telltale games. And that's saying a lot, because I love the Walking Dead genre, that world, that universe. So playing Game of Thrones, like, I always enjoy the show. The show, everyone, I think, talks it up a lot. I don't think it's the best show on television by any stretch of the imagination.
I don't either.
I like Game of Thrones. I enjoyed it every week. And when it's on television, I watch it. I enjoy the content, whatever. But I think it drags a lot. And that's kind of what the game did for me, too. And then I think the game lost a lot of its potential by tying itself down to having all the characters connected to the television show. Because you knew that they couldn't kill off any of HBO's main series.
Yeah.
Because who would follow that going into the next season? Not everyone's going to be playing Telltale Game of Thrones. So I think they screwed themselves doing that. But I will say, from my first playthrough to my second playthrough now, it did improve a lot. I switched up a lot of my choices, so I didn't end in complete misery and destruction. Because my first time I played through, literally almost all of my characters died. I was like, what the hell's happening? Like, this just sucks. Like, I got screwed. I'm like, how could they even make a sequel if only one of my people lived? But I switched up the game a bit, and I played... I guess you could say I played the Game of Thrones, and I switched up my stuff. So I ended... a little bit. I come down on it. It's still not my favorite. It's still behind Walking Dead and Wolf and Tales from the Borderlands from me, but it's a solid entry. It's better than Back to the Future.
I'll be doing that after Game of Thrones. I'm in Game of Thrones right now, too. I'm like halfway through episode 5. I liked episode 1 because, spoiler alert, it ended with a certain character dying. I'm not even going to say the character, but it was surprising, and it was like very Game of Thrones feeling. But then moving forward, I'm with you. It's like too much.
Yeah.
It's
They
like
tried
just
to do so
it's
much
like
story-wise.
it's just too much misery. It's
Yeah.
like, it works for the show, but for a game, it's just kind of like I'm playing these characters. Like this
That's
is
what I
just
mean.
getting frustrating at that point. And I agree with you too. Like when you know that certain characters can't die, like Ramsey. I think
Oh.
I hate that character 10 times more now
In the game,
because of the
I
game
agree.
than the show. And he was already bad enough in the show, but in the game, I'm just like I can't
What was the
stand this
last scene
guy.
you saw with him? Just name-
You know, I'm with Roderick now back at the.
Oh, so did you see what he did to the person?
He had the. He
I
had
don't want
the.
to say the name. Just
No, don't say anything.
Okay,
But
okay.
he flayed somebody. I'll say that.
Yes. Okay. So you saw.
Okay.
that.
Yeah, I saw. He's the worst, and
That made
I don't
me
know.
almost
It's
cry. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? I got so angry at that point.
it's really frustrating to play and watch. That being said, I am enjoying it. Like I'm not disliking the game, but it's definitely. I don't know where I would put it.
I agree with you 100% though. After that first episode, when you play it and the way it ends, you're like, oh my god, like this is awesome. Like
yeah, this is Game of Thrones.
this is
Yeah.
so good. Like they nailed the feeling, they nailed the emotion and everything. But then, oh my god, episodes 2 through 5 especially were just so long. And I think Mira Forrester is one of the worst storylines ever in games.
Yeah, I don't like whenever it goes to her. I'm
Whenever
just
it
like,
switches to her, I'm like, holy shit, now I have to fucking deal with Sarah's bitch ass. Like, I just can't do it anymore. And then
Yeah.
by the time you get to episode 6, like, you kind of just lose everything. And you're like, well, I guess I played a game. I don't really know because everything's kind of gone. It's the
Before we really get going with the show here, comments are not working, so I'm going to try using the HTML5 version.
Alrighty.
Maybe that'll work better. I'm just going to add that.
Oh boy.
We got
Let's-
Game Killer in here. We got Doughboy in here. I've been talking with a lot of people because of Indies now on Mondays. We do a talk show now, so I've been getting a lot closer with a lot of our viewers, and I've been chatting with a bunch of people through PSN as well and through our community. So thank you guys for joining us and chatting with me. I feel like because of my new Monday stream, I feel a lot closer with all of you, so that makes me happy when you guys come in the room.
All right, let's see if this works. Connecting to Twitch chats, please work.
Game Killer, I completely agree. He said the same thing. He said, I thought the first episode of Game of Thrones was the best.
Yeah, so far I would say I like the first one the best. Hey, there we go. Look at that. All right, so HTML5 version works.
It.
That was really bothering me because I like having the chop, the
The
comments. there.
chart. We love the chart.
The charts. It's the chart there. What the hell just happened to my
I don't
voice?
know.
That was
It's
weird.
exciting, though.
Well, we done with what you've been playing, so let's get into the crux of the show here, guys. As we were saying, 4 PlayStation dedicated
Horcrux?
topics. Was that?
What, the Horcrux?
Not Horcrux. No,
Oh.
not Harry Potter. Just Crux.
Oh, this is
Crux
the
of the
Harry
show.
Potter podcast?
No.
Oh, okay. Soon to come,
Maybe
guys. Harry
maybe next time. Yeah. Add another show on this network.
Love it.
All right, so I take the first topic here. Let's get to it, guys.
Dirty Boston.
I am a dirty bastard.
What?
All right, first up, I got a question for you guys.
Uh-oh.
Which PlayStation exclusive franchises, this is 3 parts, do you want to come to an end?
Okay.
Which ones do you want to make a return?
Okay.
And which ones do you want to continue on into the next generation being PS5?
Okay, can we unpack this all? Let's
Yes.
start with number
Let's
1.
start with the
So
first
one being, what
Which
do we want to
which
end?
ones need to come to an end?
Okay.
Exclusives.
God of War.
I disagree with that.
I think it needs a
I need
revamp.
a reboot. I
Okay.
would agree with that one.
It needs a revamp. It needs to get rid of Kratos.
Right.
We've talked about this many times.
Yeah.
It definitely needs to get rid of Kratos.
Kratos is just so fucking. I mean, he's an awesome character, like, but he had his time in the sun. You know what I mean? Like, let that kid go hibernate in the winter.
So
He's
what
not
would you
Let that
if
kid
it's-
go hibernate in the winter.
He's just like, what is his story? Like, you can't have a character now in gaming where his only motivation is that he murdered his family and there's no other story to him. He just murders people. Like, that's his whole story.
Yeah,
That's
that is
not-
his whole story.
That's not okay.
Yeah, nobody
Carry on a
plays.
trilogy of games.
Nobody plays. What's it called? God of War for Kratos,
story.
like that character.
I will
Right,
say,
and-
I will say the best story moments for him though were the Vita games. Or PSP games, rather. That then came over. Ghost of Sparta with his brother. I thought that was one of the best stories he ever had. And then especially Chains of Olympus with his daughter, Calliope. I thought that was a fantastic story for him.
Yeah, the Vita or the not Vita ones, the PSP ones
Yeah.
were very good. But yes, I will agree, Mike. I get what you're saying. It needs a big change. God of War is definitely one of those.
Yeah.
What
would
else?
Would it still be God of War though? If it did change?
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, I think
keep
so.
That vibe.
If it's all about like a mythology and maybe like defeating the gods, it doesn't have to be Greek mythology. It doesn't have to be Kratos, or it could be Kratos, but it could be a female version of Kratos.
And Rick brought up what I would like the idea of, make it Egyptian or Norse mythology, make
Yeah.
it different.
We have Uncharted on the screen. What do you guys think? Does Uncharted need to come to an end with the 4th entry in the series?
I think so. I think those characters have had, once again, not to quote myself, their time in the sun. I don't know. I feel like, especially when they came over throughout the entire PlayStation 3 generation, I feel like now, in order to close it off, I think Naughty Dog especially needs to move on from the franchise.
Yeah.
I think they've sat there really, really long. You could tell with the dip in Uncharted 3, for me personally anyway, from 2. So I'm hoping that Uncharted 4 lives up to all the hype. I know it's going to be a fantastic game no matter what.
Oh yeah, 100%.
But yeah,
did you guys see the making of the 8-minute one that just came out?
No.
Loved it.
Holy
So good.
shit! I didn't watch all of it. I watched pieces because I don't want to spoil too much.
Aren't they getting like an hour documentary?
Oh yeah, it's going to be like a full hour by the end of it all. But there's a few scenes, one with him in a cave that everybody's talking about, and one where he's petting a lemur.
Yeah.
Where it's just like, what the? This is insane.
The lemur one was insane.
The animation is insane. It doesn't even make sense.
It's crazy.
Like, it's unbelievable. Okay,
Naughty Dog
so
are the geniuses of the tech.
is there any other exclusive franchises that need to come to an end that are PlayStation exclusive?
I don't think so.
It's hard because no, I feel like the ones that are ongoing right now, I would like to see continue.
I think I would like to see Killzone come to an end.
Yeah, you
Is that
don't
still
kill
a
them.
thing that hasn't ended?
I would like them to stick. I know it sounds like they're actually working on another Killzone.
Oh god.
Simultaneously.
That's right. Yeah, the one that we haven't heard anything about.
Yeah, they're going to focus obviously on Horizon Zero Dawn right now, but I'm pretty sure there's another Killzone coming after that, and I wish there wasn't. I wish they would do Horizon Zero Dawn and then move on to another new IP.
No, keep bringing back Killzone. Don't bring back Resistance, the better first-person shooter.
See, that's what we're about to. I was going to say Resistance is the first thing that came to my mind as far as exclusives that need to come back.
Idiots.
Give it another
Resistance
chance.
is definitely one that I think should make a return.
Oh, yeah,
Resistance
100%.
on Resistance. You were bigger on Resistance than I was. I didn't think it was anything amazing.
Resistance Fall of Man was my first game I bought for PlayStation 3.
Well, yeah, that was one of Drew's favorite first too. I think it was like, right? It was in the.
That was a great launch title.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
love
for
that.
the launch game, it was great, but I think it had its time, and it wasn't even. The problem I think with that game is it was a game that was altered. You know, they had another idea in mind when they were making that game, and then completely reworked it. And kind of
Resistance 3 being the pinnacle of the series for sure. Even the Vita title, Burning Skies, that I played through recently for Trophy Wars, that had such a deep story, and I didn't even think about it at all, but the Chimera are kind of like a zombie apocalypse. It's almost like a Walking Dead kind of vibe. So if you followed like a group of survivors that went through that world and that universe, I think they could totally bring that franchise back with a brand new hero. Every game could be a different person that they're following on the story.
Yeah, I get confused. Like, are the Chimera created by us? I think that they were, right?
No, okay, so essentially what happened was we got their technology somehow got sent to us on Earth. This is what Burning Skies on the Vita told us about.
I wasn't even paying attention to that story.
You and Dean both didn't, but it was a good story.
Yeah.
Oh, now you know how I feel with Grim Fandango, you dick.
No, Grim Fandango was terrible. I paid attention to that story. I paid attention to all the stories I played in Trophy Wars. That's why Burning Skies was good for me.
Greg, make this quick. Make it quick.
So we got the Chimeran virus that came to us. So we hibernated and got all their technology. Not hibernate. I don't know why I keep using that word. We got all their technology. We ended up trying to use their technology, and by the time we utilized their technology, they had already invaded us. But they came from another planet.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure. I got confused on that, like if we created them or if they actually did come from another planet.
They
All right.
started using us to turn into Chimera, but we were killing so much of them.
Infamous on screen right now. Stay or go.
Stay 100%. One of their best franchises that are exclusive to Sony.
They need to rework it. I don't mind. I mean, everybody hated Delson Rowan. He wasn't as good to me as Cole
I want to say
was.
hates.
You guys give him a lot of shit.
I don't like him as much as Cole.
I have
don't like as much as Cole.
$50 Delson statue.
But Greg, do you like him as much as Cole?
Not as much as Cole, but I
No.
liked him as a character. I thought he was still solid.
I'm totally down with Infamous staying if we get Cole back.
Yeah.
I want the return of Cole.
So, Brad brought up an idea, or something that relates to an idea. He said Sly Cooper needs to come back. And yes, but my idea would be kind of like a PlayStation, we already had All-Stars Battle Royale. But what if we had like a PlayStation All-Stars game where it was Sly Cooper who had to team up with Crash Bandicoot, who had to team up with Pa Rappa the Rapper, and maybe somebody else that I'm not.
Pa Rappa the Rapper.
Yeah,
You said that very weird.
You said that really weird. That's kind of like what they tried to do with
that PlayStation Move game with Jack and Daxter and Ratchet and Clank. Is that what you're saying?
and I think it also has Sly Cooper in it.
Oh,
Did it?
Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah, but the problem was it was a move game,
It was a move game, yeah.
so they
Did it
need
have
to do that
Sly?
without.
I could have sworn it had Sly in it.
It was definitely three main people, but who was Sly's companion then? Because it
He
was
didn't,
like the
he
companion.
didn't have a companion, I don't think.
Because it was Jack and Daxter, Ratchet and Clank, and then I thought it was a third one who had like a sidekick.
People in the chat, please let us know if you
I'm gonna
remember.
look it up anyway, so continue.
Okay, so yes, Infamous I would be down on staying. Sly Cooper, I'd be down on coming back. But I'm with you. I want PlayStation All-Stars to get a second chance. That was not a bad game. It just they didn't put enough work into the presentation.
Well, there was a lot of issues inside that studio. I feel like there wasn't a lot of direction. Whoever was in charge of that studio didn't really rein in their developers the right way, because a lot of people spent a lot of time on stuff they didn't need to. And it was a good game, but yeah, like you said, it was very clunky, and there wasn't a lot of polish on it. That was almost a beta, in my opinion.
Yes, you were correct. It was Sly, but Bentley was his companion.
Okay. So he did.
I was just so confused because like Bentley's not his sidekick at all. Like you play as Bentley. I don't know, I thought that was odd. That's an odd choice.
The new Ratchet and Clank footage is unbelievable.
Oh, it's good.
If you guys haven't seen it, it looks just
the movie or the game?
Insane. No, the game.
I haven't seen the game stuff. I've been watching the movie.
It might as well be a movie. It looks that good.
Yeah, it looks incredible. It
It's
looks
ridiculous.
like Pixar. Like,
it really does. We've been saying that for so long.
Yeah.
Like we said that on PS3 as well. Yeah. But now it's like really getting close to being true. Like it's actually almost there.
The movie and the game look identical.
What about like old PlayStation exclusive franchises? Like I'm talking like PS1, PS2 that we haven't seen in a long time.
Well, like I said, I did say Crash. And I
yeah.
feel like that's the most
yeah.
common one. I mean,
everybody
you can't have this conversation without him at all.
Crash is a tough one, I feel, because I feel like, I don't know if that's I mean, if they did Crash and did it kind of like, what's the Ubisoft title? Rayman Legends? Mm-hmm. I could see them doing Crash that way, but I feel like it has to be smaller scale.
Like a side-scroller?
Yeah, I feel like I would like a side-scrolling.
I feel like that almost goes entirely against what Crash was, though.
Right, and the problem is I feel like the problem with Crash is it's going to fall in the same holes as the current gen Sonic does. You know, Sonic was a side-scroll and it worked well, but when they got the 3D, they don't know how to handle it right. Crash, although it was 3D, it was an on-the-rails 3D, and I feel like if you do an on-the-rails 3D now, it doesn't flow as well, but Crash Bandicoot in general is not a strong enough character to have a full open world.
Yeah, right. I don't know. I mean, Crash would be cool to come back. He's definitely not my top. If my personal favorite to bring back would be Jak and Daxter. That's one of my favorite franchises of all time still. And the way they ended it with 3, like, total cliffhanger to open it up to a new game. So
did it have a cliffhanger? I thought it was pretty resolved.
The end, when Jak and Daxter are supposed to split up.
Yeah.
And Daxter's supposed to go with the precursors and everything. They say they have a looming threat that Daxter needs to come and like help them with.
Oh,
and then Daxter stays behind. So what the fuck happens to all the precursor people?
That's true. There's somebody in the room right now that's named TARDIS Rocks.
I know.
Greg.
I'm commenting. I'm so excited.
What was I about to say? Shit. Oh, Chrono. I know Chrono isn't necessarily PlayStation exclusive, but the last Chrono game was a PlayStation 1 exclusive. I want Chrono Break. I've been talking about this for probably the last 2 years, ever since we started the Level Up show. God, I don't know. I mean, I feel like Square Enix is kind of in that zone right now where they're realizing that they can go back to like legacy titles and really cater to their fans and do well in doing that. So it's possible. I feel like this is probably the last chance for them to actually try it out, but I don't know.
For sure.
2 titles.
Spell says nostalgic gasms right now.
Right? 2 titles. Jet Moto.
Ooh.
Jet Moto would be an amazing... Dude, if for nothing else, a fucking Vita game.
Well, yeah, why not? Why not?
I would like it on Vita.
But that would be good. I could even do with like a $20 smaller title. You know, it's fine with that. But I think the one I would want more than any of the others... Fuck, I just had it in my hand. Fuck. I'm trying to think, but I can't remember. No. Fuck, I'm an asshole.
I love that game.
Fuck, I'm an asshole.
That was PlayStation 1, right? Fuck, I'm an asshole?
Yeah. Oh, with Greg having... Greg's, your love for Resident Evil is known, but it's not really warranted with the latest installments of Resident Evil, because 6 was shit. 6 and, yeah. But what about Dino Crisis?
Oh, yeah. Dino Crisis.
You don't have enough dinosaurs.
What was the other one, too, with the 2 girls?
Fatal Frame.
Not Fatal Frame. Oh. No. Fear Effect.
Fear Effect.
Fear Effect.
I don't know if I ever played that one. What's Fear Effect?
It was they were like very sexualized. I still remember that.
I probably.
But it actually wasn't. It wasn't bad though. It actually wasn't a bad game either. Siphon Filter.
Siphon Filter's a good
Siphon
one.
Filter was great, but again, that was a game that I feel like Siphon Filter falls into the Tom Clancy realm,
right?
And it would kind of butt heads. And I don't think it would do well.
No, I don't think it would do well.
Mike said, "But."
Thanks.
What are the ones that we definitely are hoping continue on in the next generation? Like Little Big Planet. Do we want the Little Big Planet to go in the next generation? Do we want?
I'm over Little Big Planet. Personally.
I feel like that's one of those games that could be done, or at least updated.
Evolve into Dreams, right? I feel like Dreams is the evolution of Little Big Planet.
With Dreams on the horizon, like you can make Little Big Planet in Dreams.
Yeah, I agree. It's supposed to be that way, right? It's supposed to be that ambitious. Yeah. But what was the other one you just said? I missed it though. The Last of Us. Yeah.
I need that franchise to continue. That franchise is. I hope that doesn't go anywhere, man. Like
that world, right?
Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
I didn't expect to love the characters as much as I did, but then to get involved in that world, I still have like dreams sometimes where I'm like in an abandoned warehouse and I hear like the clicker noise and I'm just like shit, and it's like the worst. But like,
Well, that's what.
to make characters your first time out that are so memorable, make a world that memorable, and you still think about it, like as you compare it to other games and stuff, like that was their first and only game in that universe. Like that has to continue.
Yeah. First up, 2-minute warning. Second up, it is Tardis's birthday.
Oh, happy
Um,
birthday!
Happy birthday, TARDIS.
Happy birthday to TARDIS Rocks. We love you so much, and you rock our socks.
Not bad.
Thank you.
You're very good at that,
That was
Craig.
clever.
God.
All right, so you guys got 1 minute left to talk about any other exclusive you want to leave, stick around, or make a return.
Jack and Daxter I mentioned, right? Yes.
Yeah, you said Jack and Daxter.
I wish, even though it's not Sony exclusive anymore, but like, I want so many more Kingdom Hearts games, and I need them to come out sooner than this. How long I'm waiting for Kingdom Hearts 3. So if they did like a Sony exclusive one that wasn't on a fucking handheld, because those are the devil that you just put on consoles anyway, give me more Kingdom Hearts.
We already have enough Kingdom Hearts, but you know what we don't have? Spyro. Remember that freaking image that we saw?
I miss Spyro actually.
We're
Oh
never
my
getting
God.
that back as PlayStation exclusive. That's gone.
Skylanders,
Yeah.
they can never get that out of the deal now.
It's gone.
But I want it.
I was gonna say, I feel like Heavenly Sword is a lot of missed potential. I feel like
Yeah.
if we get rid of God of War, let's bring back Heavenly Sword
I
and
would
like
like
turn it
that.
into a much larger, more ambitious game. You know, not 6 hours long. You know, a little bit more gameplay variety. I think the character, the graphics, the world.
Well, hopefully we're getting that with what's their game now coming out.
Yeah, they do have something.
the
Oh, that doesn't look
girl-
very good though. Enslaved?
No, not
Not Enslaved. God, what's it called?
You know what I'm
Hell,
talking
Hell,
about, though, right?
Hellblade.
Hellblade.
Yeah, but did you see the most recent footage of
I
that?
know.
It looked bad, like
Dude, don't
really
bring that
bad.
part up. We don't know yet.
It looks like Infinity Blade. It looks
It does.
like there's no
Sure.
control over your character. You're just like standing there, like swinging, and like that's it.
What game was this?
It's called Hellblade.
I have no idea.
It's like Heavenly Sword, Hellblade. It's
looks-
Oh, right. That
That's
was that
something
teaser we got like what 2 years at E3.
yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Oh, Rick had a good one. The Order. Continue that world, because I think
Yeah.
they
Oh, it's-
I think they fucked up big time with not making that game longer. For one, I still really enjoyed that game. I still think it's a great game, but who am I, right?
I wouldn't go as far as saying it's great, but it had a lot of potential, and it still does have a lot of potential. Not just the game itself, but the world that they were building.
Give me
the
Evie.
engine, the graphics engine was amazing. Just please.
And I want
Give
Evie.
us Gotham by Gaslight starring Galahad.
It literally does.
Because I mean, now that we've all played it, Mike, am I not like? Did you see the very end with the credits after the credits rolled, and you've got Galahad on top of the rooftop?
Yeah.
Was that not Gotham by
No,
Gaslight?
it pretty much was.
He
I've seen that
became
before. That
Batman.
I had seen that like months ago when you guys played it.
He became Batman
And
pretty
just
much
have,
at the end of
just
that
have
game.
Ubisoft make it with the Assassin's Creed Syndicate engine with the grapple hook that takes you around London. It's literally already made. The game's already made. Just put all your IPs together, everybody.
Yeah, 100%. All right, we are just about up with this topic. Oh, we are done. Never mind. Mail time. was good. That was really good timing, actually.
Ooh.
So you guys can submit your questions over the month to It Only Does PlayStation. This one is, who do you think is the best parental/teacher figure in a video game? Sincerely, GFN 2112.
I feel like none of them. No, wait. Let me think.
The first one that comes to my mind, besides Joel, I'm not like because that's besides Joel
Lee.
is Zach. I was gonna say Zach from Final Fantasy VII as like a mentor
Who's
figure.
Zach? Remind me, because I played this game briefly.
He was the soldier that Cloud
Oh, the friend.
stole the identity of, essentially.
Okay.
The one that really turned him into the soldier that he became.
Oh, I like Zach. Zach was nice.
Oh, Zach's great. And Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII, PSP title, prequel to Final Fantasy VII, is really, really good, actually. It doesn't get enough credit, in my opinion, especially the ending. It's because you know where that game is going. You know what's going to happen to that character, but still, they did a great job of telling that story and leaving you with like this emotional punch at the end. So I think that really showed how great a person he was, and mentor, friend. So I have to say Zach for me.
Me and Rick agree. He put it in the chat room there for me. Lee Everett is the only right answer. The best
good
dad
one.
who was never a dad. Oh my god, dude. What's crazy is now that I'm thinking about this question, like there's a lot of my favorite series don't have parents in them. Like Kingdom Hearts, for example, you only get one quote ever from Sora's mom, and then she just
Sora, dinner's ready.
it's literally the only line ever from a parent in that game.
I mean,
And
that's
then
like
they
a
just-
trope that most action movies and games in this case, in this sense, are motivated by death of a parent or love.
Yeah,
You know, and there's very few that aren't. So
true. Yeah,
I
but
don't
Lee
know.
Everett is definitely my answer. He was like, talk about great teacher figure too to prepare Clementine for that.
Well,
world.
depending on how you played the game, right?
Yeah, I guess so. Well, I would hope that everyone played Lee the correct way, which is to prepare your not real daughter for the apocalypse, because then she has a whole season where she has to survive. So let her live. Clementine's my girl.
Can we say Booker DeWitt?
I don't really know.
That's a weird one, right?
No, that one's like a mind fuck.
That is a weird one.
50-50, yes in some ways and no in many, many, many others.
Can you say the
Yeah.
big daddies to the little sisters? They would do anything for them.
That's true. They would.
Or even
That's-
the big sisters for the one little sister.
What about Sully? Brad brought up a good one. Sully is kind of a
Don't you
teacher
dare
figure.
soil this conversation.
What?
He should have been dead.
Oh
Bastard.
God, you need to get over it, Greg.
I'm not ever getting
He is technically right. He was supposed to die.
Should have died.
No, Elena was supposed to die. Sully was never supposed to die.
Don't you dare!
I'm just saying
Not
what the
soiling this.
No, they said that.
I'm just saying what the creators of the game said. The creators of the game said that Elena was supposed to die,
Yes,
but that
Amy Hennig.
but the rest of the team wouldn't go for it. And Amy Hennig said that Sully was never meant to die, and they always planned from the very beginning to fake you guys out.
Really, I
So-
heard the other
Then
way.
they
around.
faked us out both times and then ruined the franchise because now it's just a giant trope.
Jesus, I think that was a little bit of hyperbole there.
Made me very angry.
You get so angry over Uncharted.
Uncharted is the worst, best series I ever played in my life. I love the game so much. I rate them all 11s out of 10s, but like, oh my god, like if you just tweak two little things, the games would be perfect. Like perfect. Perfect in my mind is a 20 BT dubs, aka The Walking Dead Season 1.
I don't feel like there's that many though. Like Greg said, there's not a lot of
It's
games
very
that
difficult,
have parents.
Yeah, I know, it's very
Or
difficult.
parental
Yeah, it's very
figures.
tough. I feel like we went as far as we can possibly go with
I
that
really
topic.
like games like Shadow of the Colossus or Eco. I guess are they like teacher figures? I guess because they're kind of leading them through those worlds or saving them that way.
What about Mega Man's creator?
No, why? He just set that kid up for fucking hell.
He did.
I created you, and now you have to battle your way out of 70,000 different fucking.
What was his name? It's not Dr. Wily. That's the bad guy, right?
Dr. Wiley's the scientist.
I can't remember Mega Man's creator. Drawing a blank on that one.
He made
Another one that came to my mind was Hope's mom from Final Fantasy 13, but it's kind of a joke answer because at the very beginning of the game she sacrifices herself, but right before she does it, she has this insanely corny quote where she just like turns around with like a rocket launcher and goes, "Moms are tough," and then it's so bad,
does she
but
have a
I forgot about that.
it's so good though at the same time.
have
It's
no
it's kind of like a
I'll be
meme now.
find
I really like. Wait, this is a good one. Lara Croft's dad, Mr. Croft, who ends up being in the
Mr.
rebooted.
Croft.
The reboot. No.
Yeah, I feel like Lara Croft's dad got the point across.
Yeah, I know. I don't know why I said Mr. Croft, but that's how I thought of what's his face, the best friend when she goes on the expedition in the newest reboot. When she goes on the expedition with him and he
Right.
crashes in the helicopter, he tells her like, "Your dad would be so proud of you" and everything. Like he taught her everything about archaeology and like everything that she basically goes on the adventures she does for.
Right.
So he's a good pick for me too. And then obviously, Bruce Wayne's parents, aka like literally made him the Batman. Best.
We're getting out of gaming now. That doesn't count.
Yeah.
All right,
Batman,
GFN.
Arkham Knight,
No,
It's
gaming.
anything that's based off like a comic or a
You're
movie,
fine.
in my opinion, doesn't count. Like
plus,
it already
they
has source
weren't around,
material.
so they weren't a figure that shaped him.
Yeah,
Well, their outlines are in
No,
a
you're.
map. So they're
we're gonna fall behind, guys. Let's take a quick commercial break. We will be back in approximately 60 seconds. Hold on tight, everybody.
Yes, Roth is his name, Derek.
Welcome back, Level Uppers, to It Only Does PlayStation Episode 7. This is the Level Up Network's dedicated PlayStation talk show. We are just now getting into topic number 2, which belongs to Gregory.
Indeed, it does. And gentlemen, my question for us tonight is, what is the age restriction for virtual reality? And should there even be one? This comes off PlayStation, talking about PlayStation VR, and they just said that children under the age of 12 should not be using PlayStation VR when it does release, which I thought was very odd because I feel like VR, especially for children, is such a cool thing.
Right, yeah.
And it just seems very
that-
odd to me that now you can't use that. Like, me thinking back into my childhood, I was like, oh, like, that makes sense. But then I was thinking about it, and I'm like, that's when I started middle school. Like, I was in 6th grade. I would have loved fucking VR at that age, you know what I mean?
Do you think it has something to do maybe with like the addictive potential of virtual reality, and especially
here.
for like young minds that are being like warped?
No,
What,
right
what,
here.
what are you pointing at?
Your eyes. Your
Yeah, I
eyes.
think it's just like
It's the same
the
issue that you had with
scientific-
3D. 3D, you weren't really supposed to be using under the age of 12 or 13 or something like that as well. It's because you have a physical screen right here in front of your face. So
Yeah.
I'm going to stay out of this conversation because science says 100% unequivocally yes.
Scientifically research
it's
says.
Seriously, scientific research says yes, they should not all be using it.
Never forget March Madness. But I will say it's odd to me, and the reason why I wanted to make this my topic is because PlayStation VR is now the first and only company to come out with their virtual reality system to say it's at 12. Everybody else has either hit 13 or 14, so they've gone all the way to 12, which I thought was very, very weird.
Right.
And is there something you think different about PlayStation VR that makes the age change that way, or?
No, their marketing team is not putting their hands in where they don't need to be. I feel like is the biggest thing.
I feel like it's kind of surprising just because PlayStation VR is going to be the most accessible virtual reality headset by far. I mean, we've had several virtual reality stories this week. One of them being that they were talking about the other guys. They were talking about Oculus being 600. They were talking about Vive being 800. And they said, we don't have the technology that Oculus have, but we're going to be more accessible. So they finally kind of commented on that and implied we're going to be lower.
Yeah.
Hopefully a lot lower.
Yeah.
I mean, I personally, I was thinking about this during the week. I would do a bet that it won't be above $400. Personally, I can't.
I think 400 is their max.
That's what I'm saying. It will not be above $400. There's just no way.
Saying oh well, now with Oculus being this and HTC, and I'm like, why would the pricing change? HTC actually is cheaper than what we thought when we originally were speculating. Oculus is almost exactly what we thought. So I don't know the pricing difference, but I mean, it really comes down to, I feel like because it's going to be. The Oculus is not going to be bought by a lot. I think Oculus might be that middle ground. HTC Vive 100% will not be bought by a lot of parents for their kids. They're going to see the three out there available, and they're going to be like, well, why would I buy the $800 one when I can get the $500 or the whatever price the VR one is?
But then this is my whole point to the conversation is okay, parents are going out and getting this thing that kids want or kids are trying in the stores. Is there going to be a huge sticker on top of this at Best Buy or GameStop with the VR headset that's you can't use if you're under the age of 12?
It's not that you can't use it. I feel like the biggest problem is going to be how much they're letting them use it. When you sit down, think about how long your gaming sessions are. I mean, even outside of the trophy war, when you actually get into a game and sit down with it. I mean, hell, today, because I had the time, I was sitting in front, I was playing the Division for 5-6 hours. If you have a screen in front of your face for 5-6 hours, which a lot of these young kids do nowadays, they don't go outside as much as we did, it's going to affect their eyes differently. If you're demoing, it's not going to...
Maybe what they should do instead then is have parental controls for one, and second of all, have actually have a warning that if you're playing it for an hour straight, it actually either shuts down or it flashes on the screen, you've been playing for, an hour, why don't you go take a break?
You know what I love? I referenced the Netflix April Fool's joke prank. If you watch 2 or 3 episodes and then a character from one of your favorite Netflix original shows would come on and be like, honestly, call your mother. Go talk to your mom. You haven't talked to your mom in forever. And it gave you a funny incentive way of breaking up the game. That was the Spanish girl from Orange is the New Black.
That was Spanish? You were just doing a Spanish accent?
But she's English in real life, but she plays a Spanish girl. Anyway, continuing on to my point, I think the best game that does this currently is Just Dance. And for me, being the most avid Just Dancer of all of us, if I do say so myself, Just Dance, if you play for up to an hour and you don't, even if you're in the exercise mode, which the exercise mode is a lot to up to an hour, after you're done with that hour, it says, why don't you take a break, go outside and feel the warm, fresh air or something. And it does that every hour that you play the game, which I think is such a cool feature. It's something to be and that's a game where you're working out. It's not you're even sitting there doing nothing.
Right.
You've all seen me play Just Dance. I swear, boo-boo. But yeah, I think if they put in a little system like that into there, I don't think they should restrict it completely to children of all ages. Don't you think as a parent you'd want to show your kid this awesome thing? Am I allowed to show my 6-year-old that? Is that a thing?
I think it's on the parents in the end. I personally, and I don't think they're going to literally be enforcing this in the stores. First of all, what 12-year-old is going to go to Best Buy and spend $300 on a virtual reality headset without their parent present? The parent's going to be the one that drove them there or something probably. So it's probably not going to happen that way. I also wanted to comment on a few things in the chat. One of them being, it's probably going to be too large for the children's heads. No, from what I've been reading it's actually really, really customizable and really, really comfortable. And it caters to all head sizes, to people with glasses. I hear that they did a very, very good job on that side of things. Going off of that, Derek said slap bet. I will accept that slap bet. I'm telling you right now, if this thing is above $400, meaning $401, I will slap myself in the face as hard as I possibly can live on stream.
I feel like none of this is logical.
Yeah, that was really weird.
How will you slap yourself? I feel like the brain won't let you hit yourself.
You've never slapped yourself before?
I don't think so. Now that I'm thinking about that, like out loud,
I
you
could
slap yourself before?
Slap
Yes,
Greg, you can't slap yourself in the face hard.
I don't think I can. That's what I'm saying. Like
I'm saying that I know that I can. I've done it before. I can do it again.
Can I ask
so,
you why you've slapped yourself?
It was probably like a bet related thing. I don't know, but I've slapped myself very, very hard in the face before, and I will do it again if this thing is above $400. I'm telling you right now, I'm that sure that this will not be above $400.
I agree. I say we've talked about it multiple times, but I think the most ideal price point would be $250 to $300. I think they get in right under their console itself, and then if they did like a console bundle deal for like $650 or $600, I think that'd be enormously incredible. Especially because the PS4, it just once again top February sales, highest console once again. All they're doing is like.
That being said, if it is $300, it's going to be like the bare minimal SKU.
Right.
It's going to be like headset and nothing else.
Yeah, which I think is okay.
That's
I did
fine,
that
yeah.
originally for everything else. You know what I mean? Like I bought the PlayStation camera separate with the PlayStation 4. Like I was happy that they took that out of the bundle. I went and got all the extra shit anyway. But for people that just want one thing, go get that thing. And I already have my PlayStation Move controllers. I would like a bundle where I don't have to buy those again.
I comment Johnny just said, I don't even know what that means, but he said if you can put your own pets to bed, you can slap yourself.
What does that mean?
I don't even know. Okay, so it's an inside joke. I get it.
Not
Never mind.
really, but he just did it. Oh my god.
I guess I'm the only weirdo that hasn't slapped themselves before. Like everyone's coming to the gym now. I feel like the idiot. But anyway, back to your point before. I have been reading a lot about that too. And in one of the interviews they just recently did, they said that every one of the users that they've tested the headset with said that it was like the most comfortable that they've worn. Like everything about it feels like it's not weighing you down as you wear it or anything like that. So that aspect to me is really very appealing.
It's also worth mentioning that we're going to be finding out a whole bunch more in just 5 days.
Yeah, because they have the VR conference, right?
They have the VR
Only
conference.
5
Yeah,
days. That's nuts.
That's awesome. I'm so excited to figure out
Do you think
what
they
is
announced
going
the
to be
price
there.
then?
Oh,
Yes.
I feel like they'd be dumb if they didn't.
Yes,
Yeah.
they have to. They have to. They're every day that goes by now with the other ones having a price point, it makes people first of all nervous about PlayStation VR, but it also gives those guys the attention that PlayStation VR needs to take away, and they will take away if they announce at $300. They're going to take away a lot of attention from the other guys, so they do need to do that. They also need to show off exclusive games. They need to.
That's what I was just gonna say.
They need to talk about if No Man's Sky is going to be VR compatible, if it's going to be a launch
the
title.
Journey should launch
Yeah.
with every VR headset.
We need to see some gameplay.
Yeah,
and
sure.
that was what I was going to go into now as well about the whole age restriction. The other thing that came to my mind, and I know this is more about ESRB than anything else, but horror games and games in general are going to be so much more intense
Yeah.
and terrifying on virtual reality that I don't even know if I'm going to be able to handle it.
Yeah.
Like imagine playing Outlast
No.
on virtual
Greg,
reality.
imagine playing Slither.
No! These are my worst nightmares.
Like imagine that would be
I
insane.
can't, like, horror for me in VR, the most I could do would be like Resident Evil, and even that sounds terrifying to me. Like old school, like Resident Evil 0, I'd probably cry.
But yeah, because it's
I
just,
could
it's
not
stressful.
play Slender or Outlast in VR. I'm telling you right now, I would have a stroke. I would die. I could barely play the game with a controller. I was hiding under a blanket playing Slender the Orion.
So open up a whole new can of streams for us when VR comes out. I'll tell you that.
That's
Play
but
Mass
yeah.
Effect VR. That'd be fucking awesome with the sex scenes too. I'd like to have sex with it.
That's a good thing to bring up, though, Mike. I think it's going to be so cool if they can make this work with live from PlayStation and streaming. If they can actually make it so that the viewers aren't just seeing like what's on stream. Maybe you can even like put your cam like in the corner so they can see your face as you're doing the virtual reality and see you looking around. Like if they can get that like 1-to-1 at the same time, all on stream, all on live from PlayStation, it's going to be really cool, and it's going to be a selling feature.
Absolutely.
Is what it's going to be. If they are smart, they're going to make that work at launch, because then every person who sees this live from PlayStation is going to be like, holy shit, this is so cool. I'm going to get myself a PlayStation VR for Christmas. So they need to do that.
I
They
think
need to make that work.
still think Until Dawn is one of their best things. Not that on rails piece of crap they showed us, that add-on thing, but I think if they did Until Dawn again with just PlayStation VR, like I'm thinking about all the scenes that you have with Hayden Panettiere.
It should just be called that. Until Dawn again.
Again, like period. And like I'm thinking of the scenes where like you have to stay and not move and stuff like that. Like you can't move your physical head. Like that would be so awesome. Or like, where do you go? Do you hide under the bed? Like you leap over the bed? Oh my god! I feel like Until Dawn or Heavy Rain, those games are just so good for that. Especially Heavy Rain, like crawling through the tunnel trying to find your son and shit. Like, oh, I'm totally down.
There's so many cool applications of VR that we have not even seen yet. And I'm just saying that, like, not off of like any idea of what it could be, but just knowing that there's going to be so many cool things that we've never even thought of.
Yeah.
It's going to happen, and
Robinson
it's going to be
the
so
Journey
cool.
is one of them I never thought to do at all. Like, just to see all the dinosaurs walking around, you're running through their legs and crap. Like, that seems so cool to me. I would have never thought to make that. Like, that's
Yeah,
so
and it looks like it's going to be on rails,
Yeah.
but at the same time, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with certain VR games being just this guide through this world. And it's still going to be cool because you're going to feel so immersed in that, and that's what makes it different.
A lot of my favorite stories from people using like Oculus and stuff like that. I read this story a long time ago. It was about this woman and on her bucket list, she wanted to explore Paris. So they made like a demo, and while she was in the hospital, like she got to like walk through Paris and like see it all through virtual reality, like applications and stuff. If they made a game called Touring the World with VR, and it was just putting you in each location and you could just look up and see the Eiffel Tower or the Statue of Liberty or something, I would play that. Like, that's so cool to me. That's such a cool application.
We need to get to the point where virtual reality is like soaring in Disney World.
Yeah. Oh my God. That's exactly what I mean. Like,
where they're like throwing smells at you.
Oh, I would love that. Smell-o-vision? Bring it on.
Yeah, seriously. I want to be like flying over like orange groups.
Well, that's why I'm really excited
smelling
to get,
oranges.
Like, if I get, when I get the VR and everything, I might even grab one of the haptic vests if it's compatible and everything like that. Like that, bringing the full immersion. Like, can you imagine getting to the point? I mean, we're getting pretty damn close, and they already have it. But being able, every home console, you'll be able to buy, haptic vests, haptic bands, headband, leg, braces, or like knee guards even, that just gives you whatever's happening in the real world. So if you're walking, maybe it like squeezes your leg the more you walk, so you get fatigued. So you need to slow. Like, there's a lot of really potentially cool stuff that can be.
Oh, 100%. I'm going to be honest. I'm not at all interested in haptic feedback on like my chest. I'm just not like, I'm not interested in feeling like bullet shots, and I'm very interested in maybe like some haptic feedback with my hands and using like the glove, that was recently.
Yeah, I feel like the chest would
patented.
scare me a little bit.
Yeah, that's getting into some scary territory for me.
No, I don't know. I think about it and I kind of want to cry like thinking about it. Like, my heart's already racing, and then you're gonna throw something at that. Like, what if my heart gets thrown off? I can't. That's too much for me.
There's actually a good video to close on because have you seen this? Have you seen the most recent Gollum footage? It looked kind of not so good.
I was just gonna say the same thing.
Like, that's what they decided to show off the gameplay with. Like, that really. Like, you get one chance to premiere your gameplay, and they chose to do an unfinished arena tech demo where it's just a guy like holding up the sword and blocking the big stone monster's blocks. But the animation was terrible. It looked clunky. It's like it was just a really bad.
The PlayStation Move demo with sorcery.
Yeah,
where like the guy was just holding up the move and literally just like doing random spells, and half the time they didn't work. Like, that's what this demo was, except he was just blocking crap with like Drew said, I think it was a sword, right? Is that he had?
It was a sword or something.
Whatever he had, he was blocking. So I'm like, that was just very odd to do that. But yeah, all in all, I think VR, back to the original question, I think the age restriction, I think, like you said, is going to be parent to parent basis. Like, whatever you want your kids to do, you're going to have them do no matter what. Like, my mom had me my first sip of alcohol at 13. Explains a lot about me now, you know what I mean? Like, that's my life.
It's going to be really damaging if people let their kids that young use it that much, though. It's going to be all about monitoring them. Let them use it for a short period at a time, like Drew said. Actually, God forbid you actually have to parent your kid.
They should have the option to turn that on, and as a parent being able to set it and put a password on it and be like, I only want my child to be able to play this for 30 minutes at a time. They had that on iPad. You can do that kind of stuff on iPad. You can make it so that the iPad only shows one screen.
I think you have it on Vita too. I'm almost positive you have it on Vita.
Yeah, it's pretty common parental control in most things right now. So I would imagine that they're going to have that in virtual reality as well, especially considering that it could be detrimental to the development of eyesight in a child or whatever. So we're going to see something like that.
Science.
Good timing again.
Yeah,
mail time.
You're nailing those. So not gonna lie about it.
You guys can submit your questions throughout the month for It Only Does PlayStation. So please do. This one is: if there could only be one mascot that represents all of gaming, that means PC and consoles, but we have to choose a PlayStation character to be that mascot that represents all of gaming.
This is a tough question, and the only reason
why
it's a tough question for me is because
Mario.
My mind goes to immediately like pick an animated character, right? And like that's video games. But then my mind goes to, on the flip side of that, like, to me that's not what video games are anymore. Like, video game, I say this all the time, but video games to me are like people that want to sit down and read a book, or people that want to sit down and spend 2 hours of their life watching a movie, like I want to sit down and play a video game. It's that same level of a medium for me to experience and enjoy a story through it. So I want to pick like a live action character at the same time. Like,
yeah, like somebody like Sackboy and Mario does not at all
doesn't
represent
just-
PC gaming.
That's my point.
To me, at least, like a PC seems so much different than consoles in that realm.
It represents gaming in general, though.
Yeah, just because it's the beginning of gaming. I feel like you think of Mario because Mario represents like the father figure of gaming in a way.
But if I wanted to
or
tell
universal, I feel like it's the most universal character. If you show, like my take on this was, if you showed one character to a massive audience of, let's say, 1,000 people, you know, and you had to choose between Lara Croft, Nathan Drake, Master Chief, and Mario, I'm going to guarantee you more people would know Mario than anything else.
Oh yeah, that I don't doubt at all.
Oh,
I'm
100%,
saying, like,
yeah.
For people that I want to convince, like I'm taking the question as like trying to convince people, like this is our mascot, like this is something I love to do. I like to play video games. Like I would not show them Mario and be like, this is why gaming is to you like it is. Because people that sit down and play Mario, they don't. The first question I always get from my friends when I'm playing like an animated game like that, a Jack and Daxter is a perfect example. I was just playing through the Jack and Daxter collection not too long ago, and one of my friends was over, and he was like, "What's the point of this game?" And I'm like, "Oh, these little ocelot weasel things, they were the precursors that set up all these statues and these great technologies and all that. And I'm going to try to save the planet because Dark Eco's coming down and trying to kill us all." He goes, "What?" And then there was a story where I played Until Dawn, and he watched that, and he's like, "This is a fucking video game? This is incredible." And I'm like, yeah, like, that's a thing where you have to kind of take both of those, like, both live action and, like, an animated game and try to describe gaming as that as a whole. To me, personally, my mascot would be Ellie. I think she describes the coming-of-age story that I think every teenager, number one, goes through. And then number two, I think she describes a big array of gaming in general, from going through a struggle, apocalyptic worlds, not only being a potentially gay character that we never got to explore that whole thing. Like, she describes so much to me of my life, so I would pick her for sure. And especially if I was trying to, like,
I think she's great for you,
Yeah.
but that's the problem, is that it's great for you and not for everybody.
Yeah.
I think Ellie's just a little bit too, not the character itself being mature, but is involved in way too mature of a world and a storyline. And I'm gonna agree with pretty much what everybody's saying in the chat, or a lot of people are saying in the chat. I think Nathan Drake is that perfect balance. It just makes sense. I mean, it's pulp action adventure. It's relatable to all types. It doesn't matter if you're 10 or 35. Nathan Drake is very relatable. He's comedic, he's handsome, he's charming, and his games are great.
Yeah.
So I feel like he just makes sense, especially if we're talking PlayStation exclusive characters that have to be a mascot for everything.
Yeah, that's the thing.
I could see that.
That's the thing. Like, if I hear anybody talking about Nathan Drake, like, nobody dislikes Nathan Drake.
No.
Like, he's just too likable. He's a likable guy, and even though he's an ass in a lot of ways, and he chooses the wrong thing so many times.
He's a dickhead. I say this all the time.
Yeah,
I love him.
he can be a real.
He's the worst.
he can be a real dickhead. But it still, for some reason, he's very, very likable. So I agree with a lot of people in the chat. I think Nathan Drake would be the best.
Nathan Drake, I could totally see. Just like I said, for me personally, like, Ellie is right up my alley as far as a character that I can relate to.
What about you, Mike? Would you say Nathan, or?
Mike's definitely not saying Nathan.
No, I mean, I don't know any. That's the problem. Is like, sticking to PlayStation centric ones. I mean, he'd probably be the best one. I get what you guys are saying. I don't agree to it. I feel like the mascot is somebody that's personable to, or that can be understood by everybody as, oh, okay, this is what gaming means. And yes, Nathan Drake means the current state of, I guess, story driven gaming, but it doesn't. Represent all gaming, at all. I mean,
I just hate. I just hate to say, like, I don't mean to say, like you said, oh, why Mario? And I don't mean to deteriorate Mario at all. I just know, like, for a lot of animated games that are very solely focused on the gameplay, and the story hasn't changed much from going to save the princess, like, I don't like to show those types of games to my friends who look at me and say, like, oh, Greg's a video gamer. And I'm like, no, it's not like that. Like, video games are their own stories. Like, you can tell a solid story in a video game nowadays, like you could tell in a movie, or you could tell in a book. And that's what I hate, when people look down on it and say, like, oh, you have Mario and Call of Duty. And I'm like, eh.
Yeah.
Like, but that's like, but again, it goes to the whole idea of, okay, yes, but that would be like saying in the realm of music that, Frank Sinatra is not a good representation of what music is, Lady Gaga is, because that's what's more currently popular and accepted.
I guess.
You know what I mean? Like that. It's not.
But that kind of is the question, though. Is like right now, like who represents gaming as a whole?
Yeah.
And I don't disagree that Mario represents gaming. For me personally, yeah, Mario definitely does represent gaming. I think we're trying to look at the question from all aspects, and not just us, but also people coming into gaming and knowing now that gaming is becoming this medium that is spreading so quickly. We're trying to, I guess, have that little bit of foresight.
Going to the question that Johnny posed is on PlayStation. I guess overall, yeah, I mean, there's no one else better. I mean, Crash Bandicoot isn't related to PlayStation exclusively anymore, so it's not.
I think one that works for you, Mike, is Sackboy, because Sackboy can be anybody.
Yeah, I like Sackboy. I think again the biggest problem is saturation. Not enough people know him.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was my problem with Crash Bandicoot.
I think a lot of people do know Sackboy because the early games sold so well because they were bundled with like every console back then. So I feel like
again, you have to as long as you got a console. Like we said, it has to be a mascot to it would show everybody. Oh, this is a gaming thing. Like a mascot means that symbol would signify a game.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And, that's why I wasn't really keen on Nathan Drake at first, but
tough question, but very interesting question. So thank you, Johnny, for submitting that. We are gonna go into our trailer of the month, guys. This was a tough one because I would have liked to obviously done Uncharted, but we've already discussed Uncharted to death, our most recent trailer. I would have liked to do the behind the scenes, but it's 8 minutes long. Yeah. So we went a little far back. It's almost a full month ago, but this trailer was the story trailer, the first one for this game, and it actually looks pretty damn cool.
Very solid trailer.
Let's check this out, guys.
Knew a young woman who would
I just love the visual style of these games. They're so beautiful.
Yeah.
You're clearly not her. You're broken.
This one looks really good visually.
Yeah.
I thought that this would be
Oh, the character models have come eons before what the message was.
Oh, look, it's an assassin. Did he not look like he had the assassin's hoodie?
He does, yeah, he does.
Fucking shades on.
But it's not just like the technical side of it. I do like their minimalistic use of colors and this modernistic look.
Yeah, the whole
very,
gameplay is all
refined.
like the ledges you jump to and stuff like that are all color coded specifically to what you have to do, which I think is awesome. That was always one of my favorite parts of the original game.
Stop her.
And just the scope. Like, even if you can't travel to all that place, if it's not open world, which I doubt it will be, just to see that all at once is phenomenal.
We've got to destroy it.
back off. Kruger did this.
And he'll be able to do it to anyone unless he's stopped.
It still has great music too, because that's the one thing I do remember about the first game is that the music was awesome.
It's very like lightheadedness, like dream-like music. I feel in this world.
I really like the lyrical music in that first game. I can't remember what it was called.
Yeah,
I think it was still alive. I think it was called.
Not the GLaDOS version.
No.
I'm very happy that they're giving Faith a story. I'm very happy.
Yeah.
And
I don't think there was anything wrong with the first one, though.
No, not at all. It was just very, very short, and it wasn't based on Faith. It was more based on her job and what she did, rather than her as a person.
I just hope it's fluid enough within the realm of what you're doing in the game to actually make me care about it, if that makes sense. I'm just worried that they're kind of just putting it in there because they feel like they need a story now more than ever.
Oh, so it's still to have a solid story rather than like one of the add-on ones.
Right, like, I don't want to feel like it's tacked on because they felt like they have to. Make sure it's cohesive with the great gameplay that it looks like it's going to have. I mean, the first one was great, and they've come so far in technical aspects of what they can do with stuff like that. It's just going to be, it's going to be amazing.
Yeah, the last game was released in like 1998.
Not that far, but I was right. It is called Still Alive, not the GLaDOS version, but it was called Still Alive.
You were born?
1994 is when I was born. I was 4.
Hey, I'm so off.
No, I just like to reference that because that one reaction time Drew and I did, I reference everything being like 50 years before it actually happened.
Like Cloverfield, he thought it was like in the year 2000. I was like,
Drew,
no.
That was He's like, no, not at all.
Not even close. And to the put up, yes, we do read the comments. We're reading them right now, and we will respond to certain comments, especially if it relates to what we're talking about at that moment. We are going to take a quick commercial break, and we will come back with topic number 3. So hold on tight, Miss Mel. Welcome back, Level Uppers, to It Only Does PlayStation Episode 7. This is the Level Up Network's dedicated PlayStation talk show on once every month. Welcome to Bulldog Brad, Miss Mel, Game Killer, Rammerman, The Put Up, anybody else who's in the room. Thank you so much for joining us. What
Miss
are you guys
Mel,
laughing at?
Miss Mel said, "My arms are aching now. Can I let go?" Yes, you can let go. Mel. We are back.
We're back. You don't have to hold tight anymore. Also, please, guys, if you are new to the channel, follow us. Hit that follow button at twitch.tv/The Level Up Show, and we will shout you out. And if you're not new, try and bring in new people. Share the show. Go on Twitter, Twitch, Facebook. Tweet at your friends and family, your fellow gamers.
Tell
and
your
tell
friends.
them. Tell your friends. Tell them
Your
about
mother,
the
your
Level
brother,
Up
your
Network.
sister, and your father.
We currently have 23 people in the room, I think, or so. So let's see if we can get that up to like 30 people.
23 exactly.
We need you guys to help us out. Let's build this community here on the Level Up Network. And also don't forget to follow us on Twitter, follow us on YouTube, like us on Facebook, and maybe even support us on Patreon if you want to best support the network. All right, we are about to get into topic number 3.
We are.
Trace, I believe they say in Spanish.
All right, this one goes to Michael.
Myself.
Oh.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Mike.
What game from another IP
We're starting off good. I like it. What game?
would have done better if it was an exclusive first-party title for Sony?
We're
This-
talking like Xbox, PC,
Okay.
anything else?
So we're not saying like it should have been on PlayStation. We're saying
Right.
we think it would have done better.
What? Yeah,
Perform
from
better
what we saw, how
critically
it-
or commercially?
both.
Okay.
Critically, commercially, and as far as what we're concerned with technically. You know, maybe one of the Sony's internal studios could have done a better job with it.
Okay.
I think the first one that I think is going to come to everybody's mind is Rise of the Tomb Raider, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's the obvious.
Drew, you stole mine.
Well, it's just the obvious one. I mean, Tomb Raider it literally sold 2 to 1 on PS3 versus 360, and PS4 especially. The Definitive Edition
With the
sold
remaster.
so much better on PS4, and then they decided to go exclusive to Xbox.
very
It
dumb.
made no sense besides that they obviously were paid a lot of money. Exactly. So that's the first one that comes to my mind. I don't think it would have performed any better. It's a beautiful game on Xbox One. I just think that it would have sold better if it was on PS4, and it would have helped them out in the future as far as building this franchise and keeping it going in a strong way, especially now considering that we've got the movie coming,
Yeah.
which is taking a lot from the game.
Yeah.
We're
And
going to be
that's
talking
what they
about
said,
that
it's
on
based
Sunday.
completely, based on the rebooted franchise of the games, which I think is so much better. Another one I want to throw out there, Sunset Overdrive, is a game I really
Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
wanted to play, and it just sucks that was Xbox exclusive, and it didn't make sense to me, especially with Insomniac being so closely knit with Sony, and having
We've
all their
talked this
previous games
before.
be exclusive. Yeah.
Yeah.
If
Do
you
we
had-
think it would have sold better on PlayStation?
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Oh
Think
yeah.
so?
PlayStation.
But here's the thing, though. Like Resistance didn't sell well, and that was Insomniac.
Well, that's what I was just gonna say. Is PlayStation's audience is more kind of like willing to explore than I think Xbox's audience is. Does that make sense?
I was really surprised talking to some people the other day who still think of Xbox as a better console for shooters, and I was like, do you not? And it's only because of what they remember from
Right, yeah.
getting Halo on the original Xbox and loving it, and then everybody having it for Call of Duty and Halo on the 360. They're still in that the average person, not the average gamer, the average person is under the idea that Xbox is better for shooters and more mature games.
Well, the controller on the 360, when it comes to shooters specifically, was so much better. But the PS4 controller is just, I love it. It's my
It's
favorite
perfect.
controller ever.
The Xbox One controller is still great for it. It's
Yeah.
better for driving games, in my opinion. But regardless, there's a lot of games, and you can even think of, and it doesn't even have to be an exclusive from only on that franchise. I mean, yes, you can say something like Mario if it was done by somebody else, but I mean, even like a third-party developer. If they decided to do it universally, what do you think would have done better if it was developed? Think of it as a development standpoint and not just a what console did it release on.
Well, I actually have a couple exclusives that, going back, made no sense. It was Mistwalker's games, Lost Odyssey and Blue Dragon. Mistwalker would be in such a better position right now if they just were like, screw that deal. I don't care how much money you're going to give me. We're putting this on PlayStation. Like, it made no sense. Japanese RPGs do not belong on Xbox.
Yeah.
Like, it made no sense. And those franchises would have potentially taken off and become Final Fantasy type franchises if it weren't for them deciding to go on Xbox. And not just that, like I just would have loved to know that Hironobu Sakaguchi was being successful because he's the father of Final Fantasy, and that he now has a separate studio to churn out games on PlayStation. The more Japanese RPGs in that manner that I get, the better. The happier I am. So that was such a disappointment for me back then. It wasn't just that; it was also Tales of Vesperia, Star Ocean, like
Lost Odyssey.
Star Ocean's one.
Lost Odyssey, Blue Dragon, like all those Japanese RPGs should have been on PlayStation.
But another one that kind of fits that, and that was actually one of the ones I was going to bring up, was Xenoblade Chronicles, which is only on Nintendo consoles.
Right.
And it's not that it does bad on Nintendo consoles. It did good enough or well enough to deserve a remaster for a mobile platform for their 3DS for the handheld. But I feel like if it was done again, just like you said, for the PlayStation console, I feel like it would have hit a much grander audience and done a lot better.
Yeah. 100%.
On the opposite end of things, I think Resistance is a series that I think honestly would have performed better on Xbox. If we're
possible.
saying like PlayStation franchises, that would have done better over there. Resistance is one that I feel like, I don't know, I feel like when it comes to PlayStation, like I said, I feel like we're more willing to explore like the indie realm side of things, and more of the quirky titles. That's why I feel like Sunset Overdrive would have performed so well for PlayStation. But as far as shooters go, like you said, Mike, everyone always, still to this day, will argue with you that the shooters are better on Xbox for some odd reason. I don't know why.
Yeah, I don't get it either.
But I feel like if that was the case, then maybe Resistance would have done better over there. Another one, Brad put it as a joke. I was gonna say it just as a joke too, but I wanted to call out his not Pokemon on PS4, but if Sony had nabbed Pokemon exclusivity on PSP and PS Vita would be in a totally different world right now. That would be awesome.
Another one that bothers me is Dragon Quest. Whenever that's not on PlayStation.
Yeah, because that's where it started.
Yeah, it whenever like Dragon Quest, I can't remember which one it was, but it was on the Wii or the DS. Or, Nintendo's been grabbing those up a little bit. Also, Monster Hunter. Monster Hunter is was very synonymous with PSP. Did insanely well on the PSP, and then Nintendo grabbed that up. Bayonetta 2
Yes.
probably would have done pretty damn well if it was on all consoles and not the Wii U.
Fatal Frame 3, which was exclusive to the Wii or Wii U.
And if the rumors are true, Beyond Good and Evil 2.
Oh,
That's not going to perform well. If it's exclusive to the NX, I can't imagine that's going to do well. That's just not the audience that...
I hope that doesn't happen.
Yes.
I'll be so sad for that one. I really liked Beyond Good and Evil.
And I'm not saying those games should be exclusive to PlayStation. I'm saying those should be multi-platform games. Like Bayonetta, Beyond Good and Evil, those totally should be third-party multi-platform games.
Derek brings up Mag and says it would have done better on Xbox. Then he put just kidding. I don't know if it necessarily would have done better on Xbox. And Rick already said it. I just think that game was ahead of its time, so to speak. To
100%.
that thing. But I really liked Mag. Did either of you play that game?
Just the beta, maybe. I can't remember.
I really enjoyed that game. I thought it was
to play
awesome.
together, and it was so massive, and there was so much going on that I don't think we even I think we ran into each other for a second, and then we got lost. And then,
it's not my kind of game, obviously, but I tried it out just to see if it worked. It worked. It actually did work, but I don't know. It just didn't grab on, and I think that had a lot to do with Sony at the time and their terrible marketing, and they were terrible. Also in the PS3
infrastructure for online components.
What was that?
Yeah,
I said also their infrastructure for online components, syncing up with friends and parties or anything like that.
At the time, for sure, yeah.
Ghost is saying Quantum Break would be better on PS4. I actually disagree with that. Quantum Break feels like an Xbox game to me, and I think that's probably because it's Remedy, and I very much associate Remedy with Xbox. But
my next game I was going to throw out there was going to be Alan Wake. That's just my selfishness of wanting to play that series so bad.
Yeah, I understand that, but you don't think that it feels like an Xbox franchise?
No, not at all. I feel like it's totally
I think it does.
Sony. It feels like a mix of Until Dawn mixed with
Heavy Rain.
Yeah, kind of exactly that.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that, but still, there's just something about Alan Wake and now Quantum Break and even like Max Payne. Another one that has always felt Xbox-like to me was Fallout. Fallout feels like Xbox to me.
Fallout, I don't see Max Payne as Xbox.
Even Elder Scrolls feels a little bit Xboxy to me.
What about Max Payne says Xbox to you? That one's different.
I can't tell you why I feel these things, but I do. It's just like, you just get vibes, right?
Yeah.
You get vibes of what console that is associated with, and those are all associated with Xbox for me. That's why for the longest time I kept predicting that Fallout was going to be like timed exclusive for Xbox. I was like so nervous about it. Not that I wanted Fallout, but I was nervous for like PlayStation fans that it was going to be timed exclusive for Xbox, because it just feels like an Xbox game.
Yeah, for sure.
There's a lot of games that came out, and I feel like one of the best ones that was exclusive for Nintendo that could have been done better on PlayStation was Banjo-Kazooie. And that right there is straight from, that was actually what got me thinking about it, because someone was asking me about was a ukulele, asking me if I heard of it, and I was thinking, oh man, can you imagine if we had like Banjo-Kazooie now? And then I started thinking, but that right there, I think if a Sony if Naughty Dog in their prime was able to develop it at that time, that would have been 100% without a doubt one of the most iconic franchises for Sony.
Yeah.
Derek
Nine
just took my
Fox.
next one
Yeah.
now. Yeah.
I was going to bring that up because that's interesting.
Yeah.
When it comes to indie games, I feel like there are indie games that feel like Xbox indie games.
Cuphead.
Limbo.
Braid was one that
Cuphead.
felt totally Xbox.
Cuphead totally feels Xbox.
yeah.
Limbo felt like Xbox. It's now PlayStation, but at the time it felt Xbox. Like there's other ones too. Inside even feels like Xbox, but Ori always to me did feel like it
Even
would have
Dead
been
Nation.
at least PlayStation, like multi-platform.
Yeah.
But I would not have been as surprised if Ori was like a PlayStation exclusive. Like the artistry, it feels Japanese.
The vibe,
it just the vibes. I definitely get PlayStation
The
vibes
vibes
for Ori.
are PlayStation vibes.
Yeah,
And yeah, like you said, a Braid was always one to me that felt very Xboxy, and when that came over to PlayStation, I was very shocked by that one.
Well, I thought that Braid felt more PlayStation centric just because of the art style.
Really?
I feel like the artsy games like that fit more on Sony's fan base. And I think it goes down to the people that are on, like we were just talking about, the average person thinks of Xbox as a mature shooter-based console. So the artsy style games, indie type games, I feel like fit better on Sony.
If you had asked me a couple months ago, I would have said Shadow Complex, but we're getting that one later this year. I'm so excited.
That's good news. I'm excited to play that one. I heard great things about Shadow
Oh,
Complex.
you're gonna love Shadow Complex. My boy Nolan North coming through. Oh, I love him so much.
What are the indie games that are still coming to PS4? Oh, like Rhyme. We're still waiting on
Whenever the hell
Rhyme.
that's gonna happen. That game company is working on something that we still don't know
What was
about.
that one where you control all the animals?
Wild. Abzu's coming still.
Abzu looks really good. Is
Yeah,
that that game company one? No.
No, but it's done by some Journey members and also by the composer Austin Wintory.
Yeah.
He's also doing Abzu, so I'm really excited for that one. Like those feel PlayStation to me.
Yeah.
Like very artsy, very I can't explain it.
Like
it's just
Journey, Flower, Flow, Entwined felt very PlayStation when they announced that, even though that wasn't the best game. But like all those kind of like the artistic style when it's very flowy and stuff, I feel like you're 100% right. It feels very Japanese. It feels very like PlayStation centric.
I'm super nervous that game company's next game is going to be Xbox exclusive.
Why would you even curse us like that, Drew?
I'm just nervous about it because they had a 3-contract deal with PlayStation.
They're not going to pull an Insomniac.
It makes me nervous. I think it'll be multi-platform, but I'm just nervous that Xbox is going to go after them.
Yeah, I feel like they will, but I feel like it's going to be universal. And I don't think. I mean, you got to remember too. Even though Xbox might throw money at them, they seem to be in it more for the art as well as the money at the same time. So if they're going to, I don't think they're going to be exclusive to Xbox, but I feel like it'll be universal, and I feel like it's going to be developed for PC mainly. I feel like that'll be the first one.
I think this probably sounds like so fanboyish, but I wonder if you guys feel the same way. Like with that kind of thing where a company forms its success specifically off of a 3-contract deal with Sony, if they were to immediately follow that up by going to Microsoft, I feel like that would be kind of dirty.
Oh, and I would say the same thing if someone from Microsoft did the same thing, and whatever.
Yeah, it just feels wrong.
I don't like that in general. It's I don't know.
Like is you like what's the phrase?
It's very
like
shady.
You dance
like,
with the person you like brought. I can't remember the exact
I
phrase. Do you know what I'm talking about, Greg? Like dance with the person that like you went to prom with. Like you should stay with the person that you got your success
what
from.
Is
what
the saying?
it means.
I'm
I'm gonna look this up. I'm gonna look it up.
I don't know if I've ever heard the saying before. Don't wait. You guys keep stealing all my games I'm thinking of before I can say them. But instead, Sony should get Valve to do a Left 4 Dead remake on PlayStation. I would love that.
Oh, but you know what game should come back that Bulldog Brad brought up is Ape Escape.
Oh, Ape Escape was a great game. Yeah, was that what? That was an exclusive, was it?
That was PlayStation 1 exclusive.
Yeah. Oh, it was exclusive to
yeah.
Sony. I didn't know it was.
Okay, well, this is not at all what I was thinking. It's actually a Shania Twain song.
God.
But
That's not
maybe that's why it's a Shania Twain
Wait,
song,
so
is
what's
because it's like a popular saying. It's called "Dance with the One That Brought You."
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Like, you should stick with the person
Where'd you get
that
prom
brought
from?
you. I don't know.
No,
the idea is that, like, it's brought you to prom, brought you to whatever. Dance with the one that brought you. Like,
brought you to
whoever
whatever thing.
gave you the success, whoever brought you, you should at least, like, cater to that person by at least being multi-platform. Like, you shouldn't abandon the person that brought you.
For sure, I can agree with that. John also has another one. You ever dance with the devil on a pale moon night? Love that.
Joker. It's good.
The best saying.
Good reference.
What was I going to say though? There was another game I had. I think a perfect example of this question that's actually been successful and worked was Mass Effect. Who would have thought that, like, literally Microsoft Studios published the first game in that series, and then
Right.
to bring it over to have Mass Effect 2, it was the reason why I bought an Xbox 360. I bought it solely to play Mass Effect 1 and 2. And then I was so mad when 6 months after Mass Effect 2 was on Xbox 360, they were like, "Oh, by the way, guys, we're getting it on PlayStation platforms." I was like, "You're what now? What? Come again?" And then to bring it over to PlayStation, and then to announce the trilogy and everything, and it sold phenomenally well on PlayStation. Mass Effect 3, I think, was only under the Xbox version when it originally released on PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 by only a couple 100,000 copies, which is insane for a series that didn't start on the console itself.
Another one, I think that would have went multi-platform and could have, was Gears. I think Gears actually had a potential in the same way Mass Effect did, but then Microsoft specifically, obviously, was like, no, we're holding on to this one. They bought it from Epic, right?
Yeah.
If I remember right?
Yeah.
So for them to have to do that tells me that Epic was going to bring Gears to all platforms. So that would have been an interesting turn of events. All right, so back to another mail time. You guys can submit your questions on our Twitter at the Level Up Network every month with hashtag IODP if you want to be a featured question. This one is, what is your favorite limited edition PS4? And what would you like to be a limited edition PS4? What would that PS4 look like? This comes from Bulldog Brad. We've talked about limited edition games before, but we've never talked about limited edition consoles.
I feel like
I
there's
like
not
this
enough.
question!
See, I don't, and that's not because it's not a good question. I feel like there's not enough to base it on. Normally, I would love this question,
I'm ready.
but I don't
Are
feel
you
like
ready?
there's almost any. I feel like there's like what 5?
No, there's a lot of consoles.
There's-
The Uncharted
limited
one has been my
edition?
favorite. I love
Right,
the
there's Uncharted.
Blue.
Let's list them first, so we know what we're dealing with. There's
Uncharted.
Uncharted, Star
Batman.
Wars, Batman.
Metal Gear.
Well, that
Gear's
was
the red
exclusive
one, yeah.
to Japan.
Yeah, but still, it counts.
But yeah, that was probably one of my favorites.
Yakuza. Japan has a lot of them. Yakuza, Frozen,
Oh,
like
there's
they,
Frozen one.
you know,
I remember
there's a bunch of Japanese
I'm
ones
looking
for
at a
sure.
list of those right now, but I'll tell you that Call of Duty had one too,
Oh,
right? That black and
How did I
orange.
forget the 20th anniversary one? Thank you.
Yeah, 20th
Oh, I know,
anniversary
let's go.
one.
I
That's
think-
probably my favorite. Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you ready, guys? For
Yes.
my ultimate limited edition PlayStation 4. I want it to be yellow and black. I want it
Black
to
and yellow, black and yellow.
Yes,
black and
number one, because it's the best color combination ever. Thank you, Drew. And then second of all, what I wanted to have is just a little touch of, I think you might know the symbol. It's like 2 ears and like a very round face. Maybe a little Mickey Mouse symbol for a Kingdom Hearts limited edition Keyblade console. Bang.
Does it have like a keyhole in
black
it?
and-
Yes! I would love it!
Does the keyhole light up?
Wait,
And the controller is bright yellow with just the black face. But dude, oh my god, that would be my dream. That would be my dream.
That would be cool.
When you turn
I agree.
It on, when you turn it on, it makes the sound that you get when you hear yourself.
I've always wanted a great Final Fantasy themed console, but I feel like there hasn't been one yet. There has been some Final Fantasy themed consoles, but they've never impressed me. I don't know. I don't know what I would want though. That's the problem. Like, I don't know if I just want really cool artwork, if I want it to be something like very
Destiny
creative.
was that one the Glacier White one with that the Destiny?
That wasn't bad.
Oh, the Destiny, that one was a good one. I like
That
that.
one was this one.
That
then
one
they
was
had
probably my
the-
second favorite to Metal Gear.
Yeah, Metal Gear was really good. I like the Metal Gear one. I like that red. I also want to say we did get above 30 people in the room. I think you guys
Yeah.
were sharing the show. Thank you, everybody in the chat, for sharing the show. Keep doing it. We're at 32 people in the room now. Thank you so much for joining us, guys. This is It Only Does PlayStation, the Level Up Network's dedicated PlayStation talk show, and we're currently answering a question from the Bulldog Brad. You can also answer it in the chat room, of course. What is your favorite limited edition PS4?
I still love the look of the Darth Vader Battlefront one. I just think it
Yeah.
gorgeous.
I think it's good, but I feel like they need to do more than just the faceplate. than just the one plate.
Darth Vader wasn't just the one faceplate. Darth Vader was the whole console itself.
Yeah, it
Oh,
was.
was it?
Yeah, and his
Okay.
face looks amazing. His face goes.
Oh, that
blue
was
line.
the issue with
Yeah.
the Batman one.
The Batman one is just the gray bat symbols, which didn't make sense to me. To make the whole Batman is the Dark Knight, and you made the console gray. That just didn't make sense.
I will admit though that I kind of like when it's just a faceplate, just because it means that I could change it out later if I get tired of it.
Why?
Because that's my one concern about. Probably would never get a limited edition console because I don't want my console to look like that forever. Like I'm gonna get tired of it. It's like a theme on my PS4. Like I can go 6 months with the Journey theme or the Final Fantasy VII remake theme, but then there's a point where I need to change.
Very true.
Last night I spent 20 minutes in the theme store just looking through all the ones. By the way, do you know that they have a pretty awesome Uncharted theme that they just added? Yeah.
Oh God. Real quick, did you guys see the freaking artwork that they released for Uncharted 4? The real like panoramic wide one?
Tell me it's of an island.
No, it's not.
No, I don't think I saw this. Can
But
we look it up?
I'm going to put it up on
Yeah.
the inner browser real quick. Hold on, I got to find
But
it.
to speak again back to the console question, the Uncharted 4 limited edition console is beautiful. I love that color, like grayish blue, and then Drake is once again like Darth Vader. He goes through the blue line, and I think it's just the silhouette of him with the gun, I believe, but it's so beautiful.
Johnny Poolside said it best. Honestly, there's never been a better exclusive console than the R2D2 Xbox 360.
That it's really neat, but I would never ever.
You
buy
would
that.
never, but as far as listen, and you said it perfectly. You're not who they're after them because you wouldn't want a special designed console. You would get tired of it. But for people that want that as a special collector's type thing, there has never been a better limited edition of anything gaming wise than that was. Actually, no, I'm sorry. The second best was probably the Tomb Raider Xbox 360 controller that they had.
That was an awesome controller.
Did
I
you
wanted that one.
have that?
I didn't have it, but I wanted it.
Okay, I had it. It was awesome.
You guys seeing this right now?
Oh wow, that's stunning.
Oh my god!
Look at that. Is that not awesome?
So is that your wallpaper right now?
I haven't made it my wallpaper yet, but I'm going to.
Wow, dude.
Like that is such a cool wallpaper.
I love the grapple hook. I'm a big fan of the grapple hook.
Yeah, I'm so
I
excited.
totally stole it from Tomb Raider, but like that's fine.
Phantom brought. I mean, I don't think there's. I'm almost certain there hasn't been anything announced. But do you think that they'll make a Final Fantasy VII limited edition PS4?
I think that it would be smart of them to, but it might be Japan exclusive.
I feel like
what I
that's
think
such a
for Kingdom
stupid thing.
Hearts
Like,
3.
listen, I get why you don't want to do a ton of them, but why not just ship some? Just give us a couple. You already have the templates. Just
Yeah, I think it would be smarter of them to do it.
It'll make it worth.
I won't be able to buy it just because I already have 2 PS4s, but I would really like to see what they do with
Drew,
it.
tell me your ideal. What would make you buy it if you got to design the Final Fantasy VII console?
Oh my god, I honestly have no idea. Probably like a really cool like lit up meteor like going across it, and then at the bottom it's
Well, I
like the
feel like-
silhouettes of all the characters or something. I don't know.
What, like,
I feel
to
like
me-
your panorama that you have hanging in the basement on a console.
Not even that. I feel like the best thing to do is like the traditional Final Fantasy symbols that they have, like the the designs. That's almost like stencil art.
Well, yeah, it is what Final Fantasy VII's art is. Like behind the logo, it is the meteor. Yeah.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Plaster that on the main hub of your console, and then maybe give you a faceplate of like the Cloud Sword or something like that.
There's so many directions they could go.
One of the issues I have is that none of the limited edition PS4s, I don't think, make any different sounds or anything like that. So what?
Well, that's a theme related thing, right? And that's the one thing I love about the Final Fantasy VII remake theme is that it has all those iconic like sounds, those I don't even know what to call them, the notes from when you move around the hand, and I love it. It just immediately brought me back, like nostalgia
That's my favorite part. I have the Kingdom Hearts theme on my PS3, and whenever I start up the PS3, it's like going through the Kingdom Hearts menu with the boop boop, and oh my god, it's so good.
How excited are you for when that menu comes up on
Don't.
stream on Kingdom Hearts 3 and it's their new version of Dearly Beloved, and it's
Oh my god! Don't even. Stop.
and it's the artwork of Sora now standing in water or something, but he's gonna like not have a popsicle in his mouth. It's gonna be like a new artwork. Oh my god, I can't wait! I can't wait to hear their new version of Dearly
I
Beloved.
don't know when they're coming.
I think
I
I,
know,
could
it's so
cry
good.
right now. I'm so happy.
I'm so excited. I'm
hearing
so
that.
excited for
Drew,
it.
you
All
literally
right.
made me tear up.
This actually works out very well considering the topic we're about to get to. So, 2 months ago, we did the top 10 PS4 games exclusives. Last month, we did the top 10 PS3 exclusives. Guess what we're doing this month?
Oh god, I'm nervous.
Nintendo.
PS2?
Yes!
Oh.
We're doing the top 10 PS2
Oh, I thought it was
exclusives.
We already know what's number one.
This is by far going to be the most difficult one for me.
We know what's one.
so far at least.
We know what's
I know. See, the Kingdom Hearts is not number one for me.
Shut up! Kingdom Hearts is number 1.
See, this is why it's gonna be tough. This is gonna be a tough one, and I allocated like 20. We got like 30 minutes left in the
Wait,
show, and
hold
this is
on.
like all gonna be top
the
10
outline up.
PS2 exclusives.
Oh, you listed some for me. Okay, cool.
I listed a lot. So here's what we can go to. We got all of Final Fantasy.
This is a
on that.
tough one, Drew. This is a tough one.
You've got Final Fantasy 10 through 12.
Okay.
You've got Metal Gear Solid 2 and 3. Definitely the substance and subsistence versions of those games.
This is a
Got
very
Persona
hot
4.
already, I must say.
Got all the Ratchet and Clanks. You got all the Jack and Daxters. You got all the Sly Coopers.
Yeah.
You got Kingdom Hearts 1. You got Kingdom Hearts 2. You got Ico, Shadow of the Colossus. All of the Grand Theft Auto games. You got all the God of War games. You've got all the Tony Hawk Pro Skater games. They were exclusive back when it was PS2. You've got Dark Cloud 2, specifically. I wanted to put that one on there because that one's great. You've got Gran Turismo. You've got 3 A-Spec, and you also got Gran Turismo 4. You've got all the Devil May Cry games.
I forgot about those games.
You guys forget, PS2 was like a juggernaut. That system was insane. You've got SOCOM 2. You've got Twisted Metal Black. And there's more. Those are the ones I put down. There's more than that, too. So this is going to be freaking tough. Let me find my pen.
Are we doing the top how many? Top 10?
Let's try and narrow it down to the top 10 PS2 exclusives. Shit, where's my pen at?
I forgot about half of them until he said
Why don't you just edit it on the piece? Why don't you just have Greg edit it in the outline?
Greg, you're going to be the one editing it in the outline.
done.
All right. So what... I think the first thing that
so I
makes
did
this
to edit-
easiest...
Okay, so Kingdom Hearts 1. Done.
Stop.
No, stop. The first thing we do is that we knock out the ones that we know are not going to make it into the top 10.
Okay, so I'm just going to delete these.
This is gonna be on you guys because I know I'm gonna fight with you on this.
Twisted Metal Black.
Because you're going to want like SOCOM 2, and I don't care about
Twisted-
SOCOM 2 whatsoever.
Twisted Metal Black, I feel like we could all remove. Yeah.
Yes, I agree. I know Twisted Metal Black was great, but it's
It was
not my...
huge, but it's not top 10. It definitely defined the we have to give it credit. It definitely
Oh,
defined
yeah.
the console in many ways.
It has some of the best cover art, especially at that
easily.
time. That was great cover art.
Forgot
So it
about
deserves
Dark
a
Cloud
nod.
2, Tony Hawk Pro Skater.
Don't remove Dark Cloud 2 yet.
I'm not. I'm saying
Please.
I forgot about these games that I played, Drew.
That's like
And
the
now I have to
Ni no
make a
Kuni
top
of
10
PS2.
list, you dirty bastard.
Let's get rid of Devil May Cry. I love that series.
What?
I
No.
love that game.
No,
but it's top
no.
10 ever.
Ooh, that's
feel like
tough, man.
Devil May
Listen,
Cry
Greg,
is one of
Greg.
the best.
Wait,
I think there's other ones to remove first
Yes.
before
Alright,
Devil May
I
Cry.
mean, let's not rip off the Band-Aid yet, guys. I can't.
I think can we remove Gran Turismo just because
Yeah.
we're not into
Fuck
that.
racers. What is this, Burnout Paradise?
We're not into Gran Turismo. We understand, guys. Gran Turismo 3 A-Spec specifically was freaking
Greg. Just
awesome.
highlight the entire bar.
But
No.
that one's being removed. Let's see. Oh man, this is tough. This
I
is
What
really,
about-
played
tough.
all of these.
I feel like removing Eco. I feel like Shadow of the Colossus did it better.
Oh my god,
I
that's
know.
so tough, man. I sometimes I like Eco more.
Me too.
Sometimes I like Eco more than Shadow of the Colossus. I know that might be a minority.
Eco feels
I
so
feel like that's
especially
a
the newer
very
one, playing it
big
again,
minority.
where you can have 2 people play it with you, and to have first of all playing it solo and just having like holding the girl's hand throughout the entire game. Number one, just made you feel so much more real that game. Me personally, over Shadow of the Colossus. Shadow of the Colossus, yeah, totally better gameplay wise, but as for a feeling of story, I felt a lot more connected to Eco personally.
Yeah, Eco made me very emotional.
Hold
at
off
the
for
end.
that for right now because did we had Ratchet and Clank on our top 10 for PS3, correct?
Crack in Time made
Okay.
it, yeah.
I
so
feel
Ratchet
like
and
we can
Clank we can
remove
take-
it from PS2 because as great as it was on the PS2, it definitely hit its prime in PS3 days.
Oh my god. I don't know, man. Up your arsenal. Up your arsenal was some good shit.
It
I don't
was.
know.
It was great. But
The only reason I would remove it is because I like Jack and Daxter more.
right. Well,
Yo,
that's the
okay,
thing. I'm
okay,
not gonna.
okay.
I
So
never
let's do
was
this.
in Jack and Daxter, so I didn't want to tell you to remove that. But it's either going to be one of the two.
Let's
No,
do
Jack
this.
and Daxter is going to be in the
Let's
top
do this.
10.
Out of Ratchet and Clank, Jack and Daxter, and Sly Cooper, do we pick one as the best of those platformers?
No,
No, I don't think so.
Sly
I-
Cooper
I,
has to be in there.
I don't know about
As
has
long as
to,
Jack
but
and Daxter is on the list.
I think let's get rid of Ratchet and Clank because
Okay.
we gave its attention on PS3,
Fine.
and Jack and Daxter didn't go to PS3, so I feel like let's keep Jack and Daxter and Sly Cooper.
Okay.
All right.
We have 1, 2, 3.
As far as Metal Gear Solid goes, I feel like we need to get rid of one of them.
We need to get rid of 4 more games in order. to
And
have-
for me, I'm the Metal Gear Solid guy. Metal Gear Solid 3, and I'm telling you right now, Metal Gear Solid 3 is going to be on this list.
Which
And if
is
it's
the
not on
one-
this list, people will pitchfork us.
I watched my brother play them all. Out of all the games I watched him play, my favorite of all the Metal Gear games is the one where you're in the jungle.
That's 3.
Okay, so I can agree with that.
Metal Gear Solid 3 is on this list. There's no.
I never played a
changing
Metal
that.
Gear, but I can tell you my brother beat the shit out of 3, and it was a lot of.
And Final Fantasy is going to be on this list too, and I feel like the only
10.
one that 10 has to
10.
go on this list. Yeah, 10
That's
is
the only one I played.
So we can get rid of 11 and 12, and we can get rid of Metal Gear Solid 2.
Did that.
You did get rid of Kingdom Hearts 1.
2.
Ooh,
2. No,
this is a tough.
Kingdom Hearts
this
1
is
has
tough.
to stay.
Personally, I like Kingdom Hearts 1
I think
more.
Kingdom Hearts 2 is. I get it. but Kingdom
Gameplay-wise,
Hearts
a lot
2
better. Kingdom Hearts 1.
Yes, and that's
phenomenal.
exactly what we're talking about. We're not talking about cinematics. We're talking about best games of PS2.
I don't know, man. I don't know, man. I don't know, man.
I know you have a personal attraction.
This is tough.
To
This
Kingdom
is
Hearts
super
1.
tough.
Can we not eliminate one of those yet? Can we do something else first?
Yeah,
No,
let's save that for the end.
I'm not ready
That's
to
really tough. That's really tough. Let's save that for the end. Right now, can we knock out? If we were going to do Grand Theft Auto on this list, which Grand Theft Auto is going to stay?
That's tough.
I feel
San
like
Andreas.
I feel like it should be 3.
Nope, San
myself, the
Andreas.
one that started it all.
I was
But
gonna say.
I was
I was gonna
going
say
to ag- I was
3
gonna
or
say that
Vice
was-
City.
Vice City was actually. Here's a problem with it: is San Andreas was technically a far better game than either of those two.
I hated San Andreas personally.
Here's why you hate it, because you had to stop yourself from being fat.
I don't know what that means.
Like you had to work out. Like you had to. Do
Oh,
all
like
that
in the game. I thought you meant. Like,
I was
person.
so
I'm like-
confused
I'm
at that
like, I go on
statement.
runs every day. I don't know.
You know what I mean?
Personally, I loved 3.
I
and
think Vice
loved-
City
Vice
was
City was
better.
my favorite. I think.
Yeah,
Vice
I definitely put more hours into Vice City than 3.
Let's go to the comments a little bit for a moment. First off, Rick says Metal Gear Solid 3 will be on this list.
I can agree with that. I
Go says that he likes Grand Theft Auto 3 the best. Brad thinks that Sly has to make it into the top 10. GFN is also torn on Shadow Colossus and Eco. He says Shadow Colossus was way better, gameplay first, wise words of Dean, but he did say Eco had the stronger story.
I can agree with that. Eco was a lot more emotional for me.
Yeah, which is something that, me and you, Greg,
Shadow of the
attach
Colossus
with.
had a twist, which I get. Like at the end, you're like, "Wait, what happened?" But like Eco was like, at the end, I cried for Eco. I didn't cry for
I
Shadow of the Colossus.
feel like Shadow of the Colossus was way more monumental for the PlayStation
Yeah,
brand in general.
I think in the
No
end,
one
I'm
knows
going to
that.
agree Shadow of the Colossus is probably the one that deserves to be on there because it was the first game of that type to try and do an open world, but not because there's all these things to do in this open world. It was open world simply to allow you to explore and like immerse yourself and discover this mythology and tell a story so minimalistically. I would agree. I think Shadow of the Colossus is the one that stays over Eco. So I feel like we can get rid
Go
of
ahead,
Eco.
Greg. Chase your dreams.
Guys, are we sure?
Yeah, I
Go
think we
delete
get rid of
dreams right
Eco.
now.
Oh my god, my top 10 list would be very different. I must point that out to all of you.
Okay, is Tony Hawk Pro Skater going to make it onto the top 10?
I will tell you right now,
I
I will
Tony Hawk Pro
fight
Skater so much.
vehemently for Tony Hawk Pro Skater and SOCOM. I got so fucked on the PS3 list, and I get that because I spent more time with the 360. I will tell you right now, those two games are top 10. Absolutely.
Okay, so which Tony Hawk would you vote for top 10?
We have 13 games right now. We need to remove
2.
3 just to get to the 10 list. I have to
That's
point.
fine. Tony Hawk 2, in my opinion, was probably the best. It was before they
I'm
started
trying to
going
remember which one I played the
overboard.
most.
Tony Hawk 3 was actually pretty good as well.
I
4
feel
was
like Tony
definitely when
Hawk
they
3 is
started
the one
going
I
down-
remember.
Downhill a little bit.
I remember
as
3
far
being
as getting
the-
outrageous. 3 was good. I for some reason 2 is always the one I remember.
I feel like 2 wasn't on PS2. 2 was on PS1.
Was it?
Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3 was the
Oh,
start
you're right.
of PS2.
First Air 3 was on PS2. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Is that why I remember 3 being the better one? 'Cause
Yeah.
it wasn't on the
Yeah.
console.
All right.
So it's between 3 and 4.
I would say 3. I would say 3.
Yeah, I would say 3 too. I feel like 3 was the better one.
Okay.
Myself.
All
All
right.
right, so-
Before when they started adding like the Jackass guys,
Yeah,
Gotta
that's
do
when it
the
got like
shopping
crazy.
cart.
They had like Bam Margera and all them and all that
they
crap.
had to do like the shopping cart
Yeah.
challenge and
Yeah,
everything.
I didn't like those.
Just for your information, Rammerman says Tony Hawk not top 10.
Sucks, bud.
What about SOCOM? Does that really have to be in the top 10?
Yes, dude. I will tell you right now, there are people that.
Michael, but look at the rest of the list.
Yes, exactly. Look at the rest of the list. The rest of the list is Drew and Greg's top 10.
I know, but it's
Right. Well, there you go.
But we like it that way.
I tell you right now, if it wasn't for games like SOCOM, the online shooter realm and the online multiplayer gaming realm would not be the way it is now, or it would have been set up completely. This was the groundwork for what we're in. This was the groundwork for games like The Division. if it wasn't for SOCOM, things wouldn't be in that way now. Plus, they were actually one of the first ones that had the Sony PlayStation mic was developed for SOCOM, and if it wasn't for that, there would have been no microphone attached to the console at all at that time, and your voice commands actually told the characters what to do. It is iconic to the PlayStation.
Okay, Drew, we have to give him these because we totally took over the PS3 list.
Yeah, I'm okay with
It's not
that.
even
We'll give
that.
you,
not
you
even
get
that.
those 2 games, Michael. We'll give you those 2 games.
I feel like they're gonna go pretty low though. I'm telling you right
Oh,
now.
that's what I'm telling you.
I'm okay with that. There are
Okay,
definitely games on here that were better, but they need to be on the top 10.
Guys, I'm willing
What do we
to
narrowed
say-
it down to?
I'm willing to say I will. This is not my top 10 list. This is It Only Does PlayStation. So let me point out.
Forget
I'm
your
gonna
dreams.
I'm gonna take off Devil May Cry because I think God of War is the better fighter in that genre of games.
Ooh,
I
I feel like people might be upset about that, but I agree personally.
Because
I
Devil
like-
May Cry the original, fantastic. Devil
Yeah.
May Cry 2 totally
was
fell
the
off. Devil May Cry
Yeah.
3 phenomenal again. Just
Yeah.
a lot of people didn't go through the beginning of the game because it was a very very difficult game. But Devil May Cry 3 was phenomenal. But I think God of War as a whole wrapped that genre around its finger and did it the right way. Because Devil May Cry 2 totally ruined that series for me. And I gave Devil May Cry 3 a chance. But
And Rick, yes, Metal Gear Solid 3 will be in the top 3. I'm telling you right now. I'm gonna make it happen. So don't worry.
no, Kingdom Hearts is going to be in the top 3 as well. So
Metal Gear Solid 3 is gonna be in the top 3 at least. Okay.
it's top 2.
Okay, so we just got rid of Devil May Cry.
Yes. So now
What do we
have
narrow it down to?
Now we have Final Fantasy X, Metal Gear Solid 3. We have Persona 4, Jack and Daxter, Sly Cooper, Kingdom Hearts 1 or 2. We haven't decided which we're removing. Shadow of the Colossus, Grand Theft Auto Vice City, God of War, Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3, Dark Cloud 2, and SOCOM 2.
Okay.
Okay, so
I'm gonna remove
let's go
either
through-
Dark Cloud 2 or Persona 4. I feel like one of those has to go.
I was
feel
just
like
about
Persona
to
has
say,
to stay.
I would,
Persona has to
yeah, I feel like Dark Cloud, even though it was probably more popular in the West, I feel like Persona was definitely a better game.
Yeah, I think Dark Cloud would go over Persona. Dark Cloud 2 is great, and it deserved a nod, but we're going to get rid of Dark Cloud 2 and stick with Persona instead.
Okay, so that gives us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We need to remove one more full game. So let's
Okay.
discuss Jack and Daxter. Which one of that series? My vote's 3.
Yeah, 3.
Mike,
Yeah,
any
3.
obligate? Any? No, okay.
Mike doesn't know.
Okay.
It's 3. It's 3. 3's the best.
Sly Cooper. I'm gonna go Sly 2.
Slide 2's the best, yep.
Yeah, Mike.
Slide 2's the best
Okay,
one, yeah.
perfect. Okay. All right, now let's remove one game, and then we'll get to the Kingdom Hearts debate, because that's gonna be our biggest debate, I believe.
We need to remove one more?
You-
We need
Yeah,
to
you
remove one
remove
solid
Dark
game.
Cloud.
So we have Final Fantasy X.
You removed Dark Cloud, Greg.
No, I did.
No, you didn't. No,
Yes,
on
I
my
did.
list.
I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I have 11 games still. I have Final Fantasy X, Metal Gear Solid 3, Persona 4, Jack and Daxter 3, Sly Cooper 2, Kingdom Hearts 1 or 2, Shadow of the Colossus, Grand Theft Auto Vice City, God of War. We still have to pick a God of War. Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3, and then SOCOM 2. So that's 11.
Those damn Tony Hawk and SOCOM are messing everything up.
I know. My list would be perfect otherwise.
If we could just get rid of, like, one of those. Damn
What?
it.
Because you never
Mike,
played
do you
them,
have a
they're not good?
Do you have a preference on one of them that makes the top 10? Because I feel like all the other ones.
Yeah,
Grand
both.
Theft Auto deserves to be there. Kingdom Hearts deserves to be there. Sly Cooper
So
and Jack.
tell me
and
why they don't deserve to be there. Because you didn't play them?
No, I think we gave them nods. I played SOCOM 2.
I played them too, yeah. I played.
And I
It-
wasn't a
it's
fan.
not
Tony
your
Hawk
game
Pro
type,
Skater 3,
though.
I
No,
will-
it's not my game type, but I
Tony
did play
Hawk
it.
Pro
I didn't
Skater-
play Persona, Dark Cloud. I didn't play Shadow of the Colossus. No, I did play Shadow of the Colossus later in life. I didn't play Metal Gear Solid. I never finished Final Fantasy X. I never really got into God of War. I'm telling you right now, just because you guys never got into them doesn't mean it doesn't deserve a spot. I will tell you right now, people that are into shooters will kill you if SOCOM isn't on this list.
I feel like I was gonna say I feel like Tony Hawk
That's
is
what
the
I was
one that
gonna
should
say.
go.
Tony Hawk should go then. I agree with you. I think
Think
SOCOM
so?
should be on the list, but I don't.
I love Tony Hawk, and I think
Too.
it totally deserved to be in the discussion, and it's probably just out of the top 10. I love
When
Tony
we do
Hawk.
PlayStation 1, that's going to be on the top 10. It has to be.
Yeah, probably.
That I can
Is
agree
that
with. PlayStation
changed?
2.
Okay, yeah. I will.
PS1.
agree with this. You can take it off. That's fine.
Okay, we have our
Okay.
top 10 games,
All right.
everybody.
We still need to order them, but yes,
Yeah,
we have our
still
top
have to order
10.
them. We have Final Fantasy X, Metal Gear Solid 3, Persona 4, Jack and Daxter 3, Sly Cooper 2, Kingdom Hearts 1 or 2. We have to get to that debate. Shadow of the Colossus, Grand Theft Auto Vice City, God of War. We have to get to that debate, and SOCOM 2. So let's start with God of War. My vote
Two's
is
better.
2, I feel like, right? We have
Yeah, two's better than one.
Okay, cool. Mike, do any
For which one?
God of War, 1 or 2.
3.
It's not.
You're the worst.
We're going God of War 2.
2 is better.
Kingdom
yeah.
Hearts, guys. I have.
Oh, this is tough, man.
Not even
I love them both, but
Yeah, I will tell you right now, there are more people in the world that will tell you Kingdom Hearts 2 is better, and it's not a better story. It's
I think we need to go to game rankings here. I want to see which one was rated better.
Yeah,
Right.
if I will give you whatever was rated better, I'll be okay with. But I can't just throw one. When I think about Kingdom Hearts, I think so much more of 1 than I do any other game in the series.
See, I think
Yeah.
of 2 more because I played more of it.
All right, so on game rankings, Kingdom Hearts 2 is a little bit higher. Kingdom Hearts 2 had 87.46 and Kingdom Hearts 1 had 86.40. So very close together, but Kingdom Hearts 2 is just a little bit higher.
As long as Kingdom Hearts is making the top 3, I'm happy. So Kingdom Hearts 2, I'll put on it. Okay, so now we have to organize our top 10 list. Is Final Fantasy X, Metal Gear Solid 3, Persona 4, Jak and Daxter 3, Sly Cooper 2, Kingdom Hearts 2, Shadow of the Colossus, Grand Theft Auto Vice City, God of War 2, SOCOM 2. A lot of
Well, let's
2.
just move Kingdom Hearts to number 1 so we can get that out of the way.
Thank you.
No, Kingdom Hearts is not number 1.
What is number 1 other than Kingdom Hearts?
If anything, RPG wise, I think Final Fantasy X would be above Kingdom Hearts first of all, and I would put Metal Gear Solid 3 before Final Fantasy X. In my opinion, in this list, Metal Gear Solid 3 is the number 1 game.
Wait, what?
In my opinion, Metal Gear Solid 3 is the best game on PlayStation 2.
I will give you Metal Gear Solid 3 in the top 3. I'm not letting you put it at number 1. And I agree with you. I think it goes above Final Fantasy X. But I think as far as RPGs go that are universally more appealing, and as far as like everyone as a whole to agree with, I think Kingdom Hearts 2 is a better RPG.
Can we just not that it's going to determine our rankings, but I do want to see the game rankings on some of these things.
Can you? How about? What would you guys agree?
Can we start? Let's start from the
that
bottom.
well, here, no. What I was gonna say is, would you guys agree that Metal Gear Solid, Final Fantasy, and Kingdom Hearts would be the top 3?
Wait, say that Metal Gear
Solid 3, Final Fantasy X, and Kingdom Hearts 2 is the top 3. I can agree with that. Me personally, I would do Kingdom Hearts 2, Metal Gear Solid 3, Final Fantasy X.
That's what I was thinking, actually.
I would do Metal Gear Solid 3, Final Fantasy X, Kingdom Hearts 2.
Drew!
Myself.
I'm telling you right now, Metal Gear Solid is not getting number 1. It's not. It's not.
Okay, well, hold on a sec here. So let's see.
Drew's gonna fight.
Kingdom Hearts 2 had an 87. That's actually not that high. I just want to say first off.
No, it's not. It's actually a lot lower than I thought it was going to be.
Me too.
Metal Gear Solid 3 had
A 94.
probably like low 90s, I want to bet. Yeah, 93. It had a 93. What was the other one? Final Fantasy X?
Yes.
Final Fantasy X had, I also want to say low 90s. Yeah, 91.73. Had almost a 92. So right now, I want to say that I have the.
You said it didn't determine.
No, I'm just
order.
saying that I just want to say that I side with the
Ooh,
critics.
look at the chat. Job 32. Kingdom Hearts has to be 1 because Metal Gear Solid eventually became available on all platforms, whereas Kingdom Hearts still has more association with PlayStation.
See, I would disagree with that completely because Kingdom Hearts has been on every console.
Yeah, Kingdom Hearts has gone all over the place at this point.
Metal Gear Solid is more exclusive now than Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah, and either way, we're talking about like at the time of release, Metal Gear Solid 3 Subsistence. Metal Gear Solid 3 was exclusive to PlayStation 2 and was for a very long time. It wasn't until
I've
much
watched
later.
my brother play from beginning to end Metal Gear Solid 3. I never played it myself, but I watched him play it. It was a very entertaining game to watch.
Mm-hmm.
Final Fantasy X I've played. I haven't beaten it yet, but I've played. I enjoy
you're not near. You're only 6 hours into that. You're not near far. You haven't even gotten to the point where Final Fantasy X becomes great. So you're not even close to figuring that out yet.
That's my point of the game, though, is I'm 6 hours in and it has become great. Kingdom Hearts 2.
No, it's great. It's just not amazing.
Kingdom Hearts 2 was good, the whole Roxas prologue, and then it got great, and that was only 2 hours. That's my point.
I mean, are we going to be able to come to a compromise on this?
This is what I can compromise. This is what I can
Kingdom
compromise.
Hearts,
Look at me.
Metal
Look at me.
Gear
Look at me.
Solid.
No, look at me. No.
Kingdom Hearts cannot be number 1.
Look at me. Look at me.
Why?
There's no way. Kingdom Hearts cannot be number 1.
I'll give you. Look at me, Drew. Drew, look at me. I'll give you Metal Gear Solid 3 at number 1. You put Kingdom Hearts above Final Fantasy.
I'm okay with that.
Mike?
Yeah, I'm actually on board with that. I was really just being a troll at this point.
Okay, Metal Gear Solid 3, number 1. I did it!
I hate that.
Rick, I did it for you and Dave.
I hate that.
And then we've got Kingdom Hearts 2 and then Final Fantasy 10. But I do want to say, I think Final Fantasy 10 should be at number 2, but I'm compromising.
Number 4.
I think Kingdom Hearts 2 should be at number 1, but I'm compromising a lot.
All right, fine.
I want Kingdom Hearts to be number
After that, I think Shadow of the Colossus should be
I
number
was going
4.
to say that myself, actually. That was going to be my next suggestion.
Yeah, Shadow of the Colossus, I agree with that.
Should number 4. Okay. After that, I think...
I
Grand
want
Theft
to
Auto.
go either
Grand Theft Auto.
really?
Personally, I would go Jack 3.
I was going to go
myself.
Jack and Daxter.
You guys would, and I get that. The problem is Grand Theft Auto was way bigger of a franchise that started something huger. Whereas Jack and Daxter, and
Huger.
what was the best? Huh?
We're talking about at the time though, Michael.
Grand Theft Auto was a big deal. I understand that. This is our top 10, though. We're not like...
Okay, so here's my
you know,
top 10.
I'm not saying me and Greg. I'm saying our top 10, all three of us.
Shadow of the Colossus, number 5 is Grand Theft Auto. I mean, I don't know. I feel like that was way more influential and a bigger game than any of the other ones.
What about God of War 2? Do you guys feel like God of War 2 should be?
No,
I
I think
think-
it's actually lower.
I'm
like
looking at it
6,
from
7.
story. I think God of War 2 starts us off at either 6 or 7, and I think Jack and Daxter 3 should be 5. I'll give Grand Theft Auto Vice City 6, but I think Jack and Daxter should be 5.
First of all, it's Jack 3. Don't call it Jack and Daxter.
This is true. This is very true.
Um,
That's just how it was in the outline. I added a 3 to the end, so I read it off the outline.
Mike, are you okay with that compromise? Would you do 5 Jack 3, Grand Theft Auto Vice City at number 6?
I mean, I don't agree. I'm sure I'm gonna get outvoted on it.
Drew, it falls on you. I want Jack 3 at 5. Mike wants Grand Theft Auto.
Well, you know what? I personally, I was never that into Grand Theft Auto. I understand.
I love Vice City. I played Vice City.
Vice City is
hundreds
my
of more
favorite.
hours than-
I said 3 because I thought that was like the most important one. That's the start of it all. But my personal favorite was Vice City.
Yeah, I loved Vice City.
Yeah,
I played
Vice City
so-
was easily, I would say, probably the best of the places.
I love the 80s vibe. That was so
Me
great.
too. It was the best. It fitted so well.
I don't know. Maybe we should give Mike this one just so.
It's
like,
not even. Don't
he
even
has a little
think you're
bit.
giving it to me.
I'm
It's
not.
more-
Yeah, I'm not.
No.
I'll put Grand Theft Auto Vice City at 5, but I'm not.
I feel like we
wanna
want to
say-
make sure you have like your stake in this list.
Man, I feel like the pity child over here.
No, I
bad.
don't want it to feel like I don't want it to feel like a Team Greg list.
Yeah, that's exactly. Yeah, this is true.
Oh,
Okay.
I've already felt like that.
Well, are you that against his list?
No, that was last month's.
Yeah, last month I
The
understand.
last month
yeah.
was brutal.
Well, we're still waiting on Team Beast to put together their PS3 list. You guys should need to do that.
I didn't know.
All right, so Grand Theft Auto Vice City at number 5,
Jack
Jack
3
3
at
at number 6, God of War 2 at number 7.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
What else do we have? What's left?
We have
I would
Persona
say-
4, Sly Cooper 2, Band of Thieves, and SOCOM 2.
I would
I'm
put
gonna
Persona
say right
4,
now-
Sly Cooper, SOCOM.
I was actually gonna say Sly Cooper, Persona, SOCOM. SOCOM is gonna be number 10. I'm okay with this. It's not as influential as the others
So
were.
it falls on
Uh,
me to pick either Persona or Sly Cooper.
I'm telling you, Persona was awesome.
I know, I love them both. Hold on, let me think, okay?
Wait, did you play Persona?
I played it, Drew.
Okay.
You played it, but Greg, I mean,
I know.
Sly
stop
Cooper.
playing- I know.
Greg, you had- Greg,
I
you
really
had
liked
a
Persona
talking-
4.
Melvin of a turtle. That's,
Hold
I
on,
mean,
let me
there's
think, let
nothing
me
better
think.
than that.
Okay, Persona 4, teenagers, high school. Sly Cooper, raccoon, turtle, Murray the Hippo.
This is how he decides. Sly Cooper, Turtle, Raccoon.
Okay. Let me ask a few questions. Just one question, actually. Sly Cooper 2, was that the one with Neela, the constable,
I think so, yeah.
with the tigress? With
Uh,
she's the constable for Carmelita,
I think so,
Yeah,
yeah.
and you
think that's
dance
it,
with
yeah.
her
Yeah.
I think
with
so.
the tango.
I get them mixed up a little bit. I just remember 2 being my favorite.
I don't know. I want to say Sly Cooper.
What are these
2,
sounds?
But like at the end of the day, like Persona 4 was so like I feel like I played that more. I'm gonna say Persona 4.
No.
I'm gonna say Persona 4, Sly Cooper 2, SOCOM 2.
I'll tell you
That-
right now, your fans hate you guys.
There it is.
Your fans
that's
hate
the-
you right now.
that's-
There it is. Derek's happy with us.
I feel like that's a good list.
Brad is not happy, but Derek is happy.
Rick's not happy either.
Rick's not happy.
I'm
What
gonna tell
did
you, I
Rick
think a
want?
lot of other people. Rick wanted Sly Cooper as well. Rick was on the right side. This is why we are
Rick
friends.
and Brad, have you played Persona?
Persona's phenomenal.
Brad, I know, has not played
No,
Persona.
Brad, that's fine.
You
Rick
have to-
maybe has played Persona.
Guys, the game that got ported to Vita was like the definitive edition of that game.
Yes, I that's
Persona
my
4 Golden is Persona
Yep.
4 on PlayStation 2.
Derek, you just voted a Japanese game ahead of an American-based game, and you're
yeah, and then
changing
he said USA.
That does not make any sense.
I was just gonna say.
Poor choice of words.
Yeah, Persona 4 Golden was my introduction to that series, and man, that game was freaking amazing.
Yeah,
Just
I agree.
amazing.
That was my introduction
That's
to the
the
series
worst.
too, and I loved it a lot. I love Sly Cooper. I'm just
Yeah, 100%. I love Sly.
I'm just happy that Kingdom Hearts made it to number 2.
All right, so Greg, tell us, what are the Level Up Network's top 10
He has them all over
PS2
the
games?
I do, but I'm currently putting them in order, but I can read them all. So I have number 1. Do I go from number
No,
10?
go
Yeah,
10
number
down, 10 down.
Number 10, SOCOM 2. Number 9, Sly Cooper 2 Band of Thieves. Number 8, Persona 4. Number 7, God of War 2. Number 6, Jack 3. Not Jack and Daxter 3. Number 5,
No.
Grand Theft Auto, Vice City. Number 4, Shadow of the Colossus. Number 3, Final Fantasy X. Number 2, Kingdom Hearts 2. And number 1,
Say it!
Metal Gear Solid 3.
Yes!
Is that
Winner!
Is that colon Snake Eater?
That is colon Subsistence. Snake Eater was the first version of that game to release. Subsistence is a much better version of Metal Gear Solid 3.
Okay. I think my
Also
brother-
came out on PS2.
Is there
It was like the
anything-
definitive edition.
Is this
They
like
added full camera control and a few other things, and it totally improved the game like 100%.
Oh, my brother probably would have liked that.
Yeah. So you gotta put Metal Gear Solid 3 Subsistence. But we won, guys. Rick, Dave, who's not here anymore, we won.
Wait, why was Rick upset? What did he want?
No, Rick was happy. Metal Gear
Okay.
Solid 3 is what he wanted to be number 1.
No, but why did he say he was upset with me?
No, he
It's like
would have put Sly above Persona, but he said it was close for him.
Yeah. Wait, Rick, you played Persona though, right? He's
Yeah, he did. He did.
That's surprising to me.
We did it, guys. We are now down to PS1.
PS1.
That's the only one that's left.
This is gonna be rough.
PS1 is gonna be rough. I'm telling you right now because I'm going to full-heartedly disagree with like so many
Yeah.
of what
What's
you
gonna
guys.
be rough is that we were like Greg was 3 years old,
I know.
and you and
what I
I were at such a weird developmental stage in our
Yeah.
life, we were just kids. Oh man, it's
Like if Final Fantasy VII doesn't get number 1.
Listen, Final Fantasy VII. What's funny is Final Fantasy VII and Legend of Dragoon are both going to be on that list.
Okay. Well, yeah, obviously. Metal Gear Solid's going to be there. Metal Gear Solid.
what's funny, though?
Here's the thing is, like, for me, that list is going to be so, like, terrible because it's going to be
God.
Final Fantasy 7, 8, 9, Metal
my
Gear
God.
Solid, Chrono Cross.
And
Like,
I'm going to be
it's...
sitting here fighting for fucking Amazing Spider-Man.
Me too.
Yeah.
See, that's what I'm thinking of putting on my list. Like Amazing Spider.
That's going to be a tough one. That's going to be a
Not
really
gonna
tough
let us
one.
Not put like Chrono Trigger and all of those.
Chrono Cross is going to be on that list.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I don't even know the
The
name of
best
the
Final
fucking game.
Fantasy, like Japanese RPG games of all time.
Vagrant Story, Suikoden. Like, there's so many great Japanese RPGs on
Oh,
PS1.
that's the one that what's his face from IGN always talks about that I always wanted to try out.
Yo, you know what game you need to put on there? Point Blank.
See, I don't even know what that is.
Oh, that's a good
With
game.
the fucking gun. Remember when they had the gun
Yes.
peripheral?
Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
That was
Yeah,
such
me
a
and
good
Pat
game.
played the shit out of that.
The shit out of it.
All right, we did it, guys. We have done the
And we
top
ended
10
right at
PlayStation
midnight,
2
too.
games. We did.
Perfect.
So thank you so much to everybody that watched. This was It Only Does PlayStation episode 7, the Level Up Network's dedicated PlayStation talk show on once every month. We got exciting news for you. Next Thursday will be the very first ever episode of the Lights Up Show.
Yes, I'm so excited.
It is something we've been wanting to do on this network for a long time. We're finally going to bring an exclusive, dedicated movies, television, Netflix talk show. So it's going to be starting off. You know, it might change in the future. It's going to start off with just me and Greg next week. That's the game plan right now. Team Greg with the Lights Up Show. But who knows? This is just starting off with the first episode. It's going to grow. It's going to develop. But you should definitely be there for episode 1 because it's a jam-packed show.
Yeah, already. We were
Already.
Me and Drew have been messaging back and forth, and we're like, "Do we put this story in or this story in?" And I'm like, "Oh my god, how are we only doing top 10? It can't." Like,
Yes.
it's already crazy.
Yeah. So we're going to have a
It's gonna be
movie segment. We're going to have a TV segment. We're going to have a question segment. We're going to have trailer of the month and more. It's all going to be there. So definitely be here next month, guys. If you haven't followed us yet, do it right now. Hit that follow button at twitch.tv/The Level Up Show. We will, of course, shout you out. Also, follow us on Twitter at The Level Up Network, level spelled LVL. Also on YouTube at youtube.com/The Level Up Show to check out archives of every episode, as well as exclusive YouTube content like Power Up.
Dun, dun, dun.
There you go. That is Dean and Greg's superhero comic book and nerdiness show. I'm sure they'll be talking about the new Civil War trailer in the near future.
We got a lot to talk about on Power Up this week.
There's a lot to talk about there.
What was that voice?
Woo!
Oh, yeah. I'm so
Yeah. What else do we have? We got Patreon, which is the best way to support the network. You guys can donate just $1 or more per month on that website, and you can get early access to stuff like Power Up, as well as monthly XP gifts and more.
How much? All you have to do is donate how much, sir?
Just $1.
What is it?
$1.
One single dollar. Oh, George.
One single dollar. 99 cents plus one.
Wow, that's a one Abraham Lincoln penny plus
Yes.
other change I don't want to add up right now.
Yes. We also have a t-shirt shop, guys, at thelevelupnetwork.com/store. Or if you just want to do a singular donation, you can do that as well at levelupnetwork.com/donate. As TX Puck is putting everything in the chat. Thank you so much, TX Puck. Thank you, everybody, for watching. I'm trying to think if we have anything else this week. No, the only other thing we have this week is the Level Up Show proper on this Sunday at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. So
I will
don't
be
miss
there
that
live
one.
in person this week.
Yeah, you will.
Yes, he will. So that's exciting. It's going to be a good show, so don't miss that one. We are going to end It Only Does PlayStation the way we always do. Just to make sure, Mike, you remember how we close off It Only Does PlayStation, right?
Mike's like, why do we do
Yes, he does. He's like, I don't like it, but I remember.
Okay.
All right, guys. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. PlayStation.